update on Operation Epic Fury. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. President Trump set to address the nation about 3 hours from now on the U.S.-Israel action against the Iranian regime. Fox's Peter Ducey with more from the White House.
He will highlight the United States military's success in achieving all of its stated goals prior to the operation, destroy Iran's deadly ballistic missiles and production facilities, annihilate their navy, ensure their terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region, guarantee that Iran can never obtain a nuclear weapon, and he's going to make sure that all wraps up in 2 to 3 weeks.
The president posted on Truth Social earlier that Iran was looking for a ceasefire, which the regime denies. There's also reports the president will announce he wants to pull the U.S. out of NATO, though that would require an act of Congress or a 2/3 Senate vote. The White House announcing a short time ago NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte is set to meet with President Trump next week. NASA's Artemis II mission to the moon is set to blast off later this hour after engineers resolved an issue with the rocket's communication system.
The astronauts say that they feel confident that they are ready for the mission, but also as spaceflight goes, rocket launches can often be scrubbed if there's any problem with the weather or even a minor problem with the rocket.
Fox's Jonathan Seri at Kennedy Space Center. Astronauts last flew to the moon during Apollo 17 in 1972. The Supreme Court heard arguments this morning over President Trump's executive order banning birthright citizenship, with justices appearing skeptical of the Solicitor General, arguing the 14th Amendment was only meant to apply to those who have an allegiance to the country. President Trump attended the arguments in a first for a sitting president. Wall Street stocks rallied worldwide as oil prices eased on hopes for a possible end to the conflict in Iran. The Dow gained 224, the Nasdaq up 250. America is listening to Fox News.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She could get a deal. Book telehealth if she feel.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Folks! The yellow light! I'm walking here!
He knows me so well. Hi, good afternoon, Victoria Taft in for Jason Rantz. I'm so happy to be here. I made it just in time for the monsoon, so it was a delightful time in traffic, and I hope you're having a wonderful time as well. Anyway, stick with us. We'll make you laugh, and we'll make you think, and we will give you the news of the day and what's trending, which is, by the way, brought to you by the Sunset Auto family. Let's check what's trending.
What's trending? Supreme Court.
Oh, big stuff happening today in the Supreme Court. Don't know if anything's going to change as a result, but it was a big deal as the U.S. court took on some arguments about birthright citizenship. And where did all this come from? Well, this all came from as a result of President Trump, 47, writing an executive order the first day in office. He didn't write it, he signed it. And of course, that started the left going, well, we have to stop this. This is not good for us. And so they immediately they sued him. They sued the Trump administration to stop it. And so it's been ineffectual, ineffective, a non-starter since this was signed as an executive order. And so that's where we are. And today, it was very apparent that there were some it's really tough to ask the U.S. Supreme Court justices, all except Ketanji Brown Jackson, for whom every different thing is going to be, it will be, if it's not woke, she ain't going to help out. So this is not going to work for her. But everybody else had questions, and everybody else wondered, okay, are we going to throw out the 14th Amendment, the part that talks about subject to the jurisdiction of the United States and all who have a permanent domicile? These are key phrases in this portion of the citizenship portion of the 14th Amendment. Okay, so now what we're stuck with is, okay, we don't like President Trump's verbiage in his EO from last year. So now what we have to do is we have to figure out what this whole thing means. Is what the 14th Amendment that we thought it meant, is that really what it means? And so here is the ACLU lawyer, and the ACLU, gosh, where have they been? They've been batting for the other team. And here they are saying, okay, Attorney Cecilia Wang says there's no difference between children of legal and illegal immigrants. Let's see how this went over.
Well, everything that you're saying would suggest an...
That's Sotomayor, Sonia Sotomayor.
No, that was Kagan, actually, yeah.
Is it?
It was Kagan, yep.
Okay, hold on. Let me just say.
Answer to the...
Oh, yeah, it is Kagan. I apologize. My apologies. It did kind of sound smart. So
that's how you know, yeah.
I should have known. Yeah. Have you ever noticed that, she's from New Hampshire. And so everything she says, if there's a double, what am I trying to say? Double vowel. God, Victoria, welcome to the air, everybody. If there's double vowel, she pronounces both. It is bien. It has, apparently they do that up there. So I just thought that's another way you can tell who's talking. Here she is.
Question of people who, the children of people who are temporarily in the U.S., but here lawfully. Is there any way that there might be a different answer with respect to the children of people who are here unlawfully because of this new problem issue that Justice Alito has raised?
No, there is no difference. And of course, the government's arguments as to people who are unauthorized immigrants in this country all runs through and hinges on their domicile requirement.
So that's the domicile requirement. And what they want to know is that, are these people actually living here? Are they living here? Do they have roots here? That's not just the only thing. Are they tied to this country? Did they come here legally is really what the bottom line is. And they say, well, it's not any difference. There shouldn't be any difference between illegal and legal citizens. Or, you know what I mean? Illegal aliens and legal citizens. So anyway, so Justice Alito, who's one of the more conservative members of the court, said, okay, are you sure about that?
Not subject to any foreign power is pretty straightforward. So let me give you these examples. A boy is born here to an Iranian father who has entered the country illegally. That boy is automatically an Iranian national at birth, and he has a duty to provide military service to the Iranian government. Is he not subject to any foreign power?
Not within the meaning of the 1866 Act, Justice Alito. And that's clear from Wong Kim Ark, and it's clear from the debates. What the framers meant by the phrase not subject to any foreign power was referring to the ambassador exception. If it meant what the government contends, basically not a subject of any foreign power, that another country considers you a jus sanguinis citizen, then lawful permanent residents, all foreign nationals.
Well, ordinary public meaning of that would certainly encompass that boy, would it not?
Justice Alito, if you think that the language of the 1866 Act was ambiguous, as Wong Kim Ark says, the shift to the language of the 14th Amendment, which is the operative text, certainly clears up any ambiguity.
Well, did anything clear up the ambiguity of the 14th Amendment? I mean, it does seem to say that the court wants to know whether or not the citizenship clause of the 14th Amendment covers nearly everyone born on a U.S. soil, or whether the Trump order can carve out, make exceptions for people who came illegally or are on vacation or the birth tourism situation that we find so egregiously done in mostly Southern California. So here's John Sauer. He is the Solicitor General. He's got the voice that it makes it sound like he's gargling with razor blades or something. I don't know. And here he is talking about that very issue. Let's find out what he has to say.
That based on Chinese media reports, there are 500 birth tourism companies in the People's Republic of China whose business is to bring people here to give birth and return to that nation.
Having said all that, you do agree that that has no impact on the legal analysis before us?
I think it's, I'd quote what Justice Scalia said in his Hamdan dissent, where their interpretation has these implications that could not possibly have been approved by the 19th century framers of this amendment. I think that shows that they've made a mess. Their interpretation has made a mess of the provision.
Well, it certainly wasn't a problem in the 19th century.
No, but of course, we're in a new world now, as Justice Alito pointed out, where 8 billion people are one plane ride away from having a child who's a U.S. citizen.
Well, it's a new world. It's the same Constitution.
It is, and as Justice Scalia said, I think in the case that Justice Alito was referring to, you've got a constitutional provision that addresses certain evils, and it should be extended to reasonably comparable evils. He said that about statutory interpretation. I think the same principle applies here, and I think we quote that in our brief.
Yeah, John Roberts does not want to rock the boat. If he goes along with Donald Trump on this, they've already done the tariff case. They were willing to go to the mattresses for the tariff case to completely upend that situation for Donald Trump. Okay, they said, well, you could do it over here. And you could do it with this law, but you can't do it with the law you used. Okay, so that's what they did there. Now they're going, well, wait a minute now. Hold on. Do we upend the entire way we've been doing things for 200 years or since this became an issue? What the last decision was from 1898 in United States versus Wong Kim Ark. And so we really want to do that, you guys? I don't know. This seems weird. You know what my real question is, because I've heard this a number of times now. Tell me if you know what you're listening to at this point, and don't listen to the voices. Listen elsewhere.
Control you as a matter of law.
Oh, no.
I can also...
Sorry. No. What's she doing there? Hold on. I'm sorry. Ketanji. That was Ketanji Brown Jackson. Hold on. We'll save up for this. Hold on.
Their interpretation has made a mess of the provision.
Well, it certainly wasn't a problem in the 19th century.
No, but of course, we're in a new world now, as Justice Alito pointed out, where 8 billion people are one plane ride away from having a child who's a U.S. citizen.
Well, it's a new world. It's the same Constitution.
It is.
Oh, come on. What do you think?
Constitution.
It is, and...
I was curious about that myself when I first heard it.
I was drinking the ice water and chewing on ice cubes.
It is, and as Justice Scalia said, I think in the case that Justice Alito was referring to, you've got a constitutional provision that addresses certain evils, and it should be extended to reasonably comparable evils. He said that about statutory interpretation. I think the same principle applies here, and I think we quote that in our brief.
Supreme Court justices, they're just like us. Okay, so except Ketanji Brown Jackson. A friend of mine, a colleague over at Hot Air yesterday did a piece on Ketanji Brown Jackson. And basically, she's, you may think she sounds dumb, but she's really not dumb if you're a wokester. She's just going according to the plan, which is there's nothing set in stone. Everything is situational and transactional. And therefore, if it makes sense and to further the aims of the Democrats, she's all for it. Okay. All right. Here she is. Let's find out what she said. According to somebody I know, she made an incredibly dumb analogy. Let's find out, shall we?
You obviously have permanent allegiance based on being born in whatever country you're from. That's what everybody recognizes. But you also have local allegiance when you are on the soil of this other sovereign. And I was thinking, I, a U.S. citizen, am visiting Japan. And what it means is that, if I steal someone's wallet in Japan.
What? I listened to these this morning. How did I miss the wallet, the Japanese wallet?
Oh, this was going viral everywhere.
Oh, let's listen some more.
The Japanese authorities can arrest me and prosecute me. It's allegiance, meaning can they control you as a matter of law? I can also rely on them if my wallet is stolen to, under Japanese law, go and prosecute the person who has stolen it. So there's this relationship based on, even though I'm a temporary traveler, I'm just on vacation in Japan, I'm still locally owing allegiance in that sense.
You're subject to the jurisdiction thereof, she says. So if this was written to make sure that the offspring of slaves were accorded U.S. citizenship, which is what the 14th Amendment was put in there for, this citizenship clause of the 14th Amendment, then how is it that she missed that? How did she miss that? How is it that anyone can come into this country, even though they're subject to the jurisdiction of another country, be in the United States and claim citizenship or for their offspring? See, that's really the bottom line. It's as simple as that. So now they got to figure out what it means. And these guys were not really willing to do this. They didn't like it. Like the last big case we heard, oh yeah, that's definitely, I heard they are going to go with the Trump administration on this one. This one, not so sure. But hey, you're answering the question in court, in the U.S. Supreme Court. And why are you answering the question in the U.S. Supreme Court? I'll tell you why. You're answering it there because you forced the issue to the courts. If they switch this bad boy up and they say, birth tourism, and what the heck is going on? 10% of the births in the United States are due to birth tourism and illegal aliens. Well, out of a country of how many people? 395 million people?
Something like that.
There's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of fake citizens. Amy Coney Barrett also appeared to be skeptical of the Trump administration's argument. Let's find out why.
I can imagine it being messy in some applications. So
she, of course, was not concerned about how messy it was. She did ask about this with respect to the tariff case in oral arguments. Well, this could be kind of messy. What's going to happen here? And what'd she do? She went along with everybody else and said, well, you know what? That Trump thing, sure, we're bankrolling the entire government on tariffs. Sure, we're lowering taxes because we're getting tariffs. But, this might be messy.
What you do with what the common law called foundlings. The thing about this is then you have to adjudicate. If you're looking at parents, and if you're looking at parents' domicile, then you have to adjudicate both residence and intent to stay. What if you don't know who the parents are?
I think there are.
Is that the biggest point we have? Is that really the biggest question we have? What if we don't know who the parents are? No, it's not, but we're going there.
Marginal cases, that one I think has the benefit of being addressed in 1401F, where it talks about.
Yeah. But what about the Constitution?
Under the Constitution, domicile is a constitutional standard in all kinds of other situations.
Well, and it's hard.
Diversity, jurisdiction.
Isn't it hard? Like a lot of Seattle businesses and millionaires, they're leaving. They're re-domiciling somewhere else because it's so doggone expensive here. And now when they leave here, but they yet retain a home here, but they don't spend 6 months plus how many ever days that they require you to live in that house in order to tax you the millionaire's tax. Okay, because the millionaire's tax, the income tax, okay, they're, is domiciling actually does make a difference here, right? Yeah, it's just a question. We should consider it. We should consider the ramifications of that. And here she's saying,
personal jurisdiction, sorry.
Well, yeah, in a personal jurisdiction, 1332, diversity jurisdiction. And the thing is, it has to be litigated because it turns on intent. And both the virtue of both jus soli and jus sanguinis, whichever one you pick, it's a bright line rule. How would it work? How would you adjudicate these cases? You're not going to know at the time of birth for some people whether they have the intent to stay or not, including U.S. citizens, by the way. I mean, what if you have someone who is living in Norway with their husband and family, but is still a U.S. citizen, comes home and has her child here and goes back? How do we know whether the child is a U.S. citizen because the parent didn't have an intent to stay?
Yeah, well, okay. They're big questions. Big questions. Darn it! I'm trying to find who was drinking the. Did anybody mention the ice water situation?
Not that I've heard, but
I still want to find out. So this is to be announced probably in June, because that's when they're going to wrap this bad boy up. This latest Supreme Court session, and they'll have all the dumb things that they're going to do, and they're going to tie themselves into knots. Because I can tell you, even there are a lot of people who actually believe there is no room made in the 14th Amendment citizenship portion of it that allows people to become a citizen if they've just, dropped in, parachuted in for a vacation. Vacay! Here we go. And one of the persons who believes that there is no immediate 14th Amendment citizenship pronouncement is John Eastman, the man that they tried to just kill his career, and to a large extent did. But he happens to be one of the chief constitutional scholars in the country. Here's what he said.
The 14th Amendment says you got to be born here. That's requirement one. But you got to be subject to the jurisdiction here as well and reside in a state. That means temporary visitors, and certainly those who are here illegally, are not covered by the automatic citizenship of the Citizenship Clause. And that was the way we understood it for about a century. And it kind of gradually, beginning in the 1950s or 60s, we moved away from that position. But President Trump's executive.
I'm going to cut that off just for a second, because it looks like we are in the final phase of the Artemis 2 Orion capsule ready for takeoff. And so I want to just get there.
After polling the entire team, including the astronauts.
We're going to steal, it's fair and square, Fox News is, because we're an affiliate.
With the Artemis 2 mission have been framing it that way, although they acknowledge that they're at the tip of the spear. They also acknowledge that thousands of people have worked hard to put them there, and that ultimately the mission they do, the research that
I
they
am.
conduct.
Are you planning on something on your end? What do you look? Okay, pull it. Oh, yeah, I forget. I have competence. I forget those competent people at Jason Show.
And for all personnel, once we get that short purge verification, we'll verify that we are clear to go, and then we'll proceed with the terminal count.
Yeah, they just had something going on, a glitch, so they fixed it. They're sitting on the pad. Now, here's the reason I'm just sort of jumping in, because it said that they were on the final countdown. And I believe that there is a song that of the same name, The Final Countdown. And I'm not that I'm calling for it necessarily. It's just, I thought that we were like in the 10, 9, 8. And
ECL time estimate?
Yeah.
About a minute.
Oh,
Copy.
We can hang with this. Thank you very much. We were asking the question. It's a 10-day journey, 4 astronauts going around the moon. We've never been farther away in a manned flight. And what they're going to do, now this is kind of funny. I had to look this up.
So we're going into the launch window, but not by much, it looks like.
And the launch window was 6, it's almost
just wrapping up some final work.
So 6:24 on the East Coast.
And once that's completed, you'll hear NASA Test Director Jeff Spaulding ask for the ground launch sequencer operator to go ahead and start the clock.
Ooh, cool. This is kind of cool because
the ground launch sequencer is an application software. It runs on top of the launch control system in the firing room. Acts like a conductor of an orchestra, executing hundreds of commands in precise order and timing. It's all autonomous.
NTD CCL 212, short purge initiations verified. All right, copy that. And we're verifying our constraints.
And here's what they're going to do. They're going to find out if they can actually live on the moon, live on this craft in space. Crew, they're going to live and work in the capsule for 10 days. I'm reading from AI here, as a matter of fact.
All right, and we're clear from cutouts. And with that, we're going to resume the clock momentarily.
Okay, they have a new
and
toilet
CGLS,
system.
you can resume the clock on your mark.
So
GLS copies.
I don't know where we are on the clock, though.
3, 2, 1, mark. GLS mainline has been initiated.
T-minus 10 minutes and counting.
Oh, 10 minutes. Okay, well, we're not going to stick with it. We'll come back. So, yeah, that's cool, though. I mean, honestly, life support and operations are going to find out if that all works, which may be important. Well, say a little prayer for those guys. It looks like this is a go. Okay, when it happens, we will have it for you live on the Jason Rantz Show. Victoria Taft, Seattle Red. Hang in there. Be back in a minute.
SeattleRed.com.
Washington is a sanctuary state.
Local.
This was brought on by Democrats.
Conservative.
Democrats got all excited, high on their own supply.
Bold.
At least they can appreciate the president coming in with some type of help.
Finally, a website dedicated to local news in Seattle and the Pacific Northwest without the liberal spin.
This is going to be a major issue going forward.
Make it the first site you read every day. SeattleRed.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-478-6430 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-478-6430. That's 800-478-6430. What do you have to lose? Call 800-478-6430. Again, 800-478-6430.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. There's a local company genuinely changing how the Pacific Northwest handles real estate. And they're called Legacy Group Capital. Wonderful organization. They're based in Bellevue. They've been doing this for like 2 decades. And they're not a traditional bank. It's why they don't slow you down and mire you in red tape, from offering traditional home loans to construction loans and even real estate investment. Legacy Group Capital can help you. They lend their own money. They make their own decisions. And that means they can move fast and tailor solutions to real people like you with your real goals. I've been working with them personally. I just hung out with Scott Rurucka last week. He's the CEO. And what stands out is their passion and how easy they make the entire process. Dealing with a big bank is rigid. Dealing with Legacy and their common sense approach means they look at your plan, whether you're buying a home or building one, maybe you're developing a property. If the deal makes sense, they make it happen. That's a level of flexibility you don't find anywhere else. The website is legacyg.com, legacyg.com. Go there, learn more, and check out all of their investment opportunities. That is also where they shine. Legacy G, the letter G, legacyg.com.
Sometimes injuries can happen when you least expect them.
What broke my shoulder was reaching for my phone. I was trying to get the phone away from my cat.
That's how Heather tore her rotator cuff.
There was that hope. I was like, maybe this will heal on its own. And I waited a little bit, and it was not getting better.
She just couldn't take the pain anymore, so she saw Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
By the next day, my shoulder was already doing better. I have my arm back again, which was just wonderful.
Seems like she made the right choice.
I'm so glad I didn't do surgery.
So whether it's a hip like mine or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. He's the most experienced in the Northwest with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
I said to him at our last appointment, I was like, you better not retire because I want to know if anything else goes wrong with my body. You're there to be able to fix it because he's a miracle worker.
I just can't dig it.
Dig what?
My water line.
Needs replacing?
And I don't want digging in my yard.
And maybe your driveway.
Can't dig it.
Don't dig it.
But how do you?
Apollo Plumbing replaces water lines without digging up your yard.
You're Dan.
From the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Apollo Plumbing.
Our trenchless technology replaces water and sewer lines.
Without digging up my yard?
2 little holes is all it takes.
Sounds better.
Faster, too.
And my yard?
Like we were never there.
Sounds spendy.
Not so much.
Oh?
In the end, about the same as that messy digging you don't want.
How do you figure?
Think about that landscaping you love.
Yeah?
Trenchless means you won't be paying to replace it.
Or my driveway.
We run everything underground.
Trenchless?
Do them all the time.
How about...
Easy payments?
Yeah.
With approved credit. Sure thing.
When can you get started?
We are the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Love that.
Apollo Plumbing, trenchless waterline replacement.
Sewer lines, too.
Can you dig that?
That I can.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Jason Rantz on Fox News.
Jason, I listen to Gavin Newsom, and I think everything now is some sort of deflection.
What's really odd to me, because he's obviously running for president, is he runs California. Usually, when you're the governor of any state, you're going to point to your own accomplishments. But when you have his kind of record, you can't really do all that much to point to what it is you've been able to do unless you want to sink your own campaign.
The Jason Rantz Show every afternoon from 3 to 7 on Seattle Red. Bookmark SeattleRed.com now for exclusive content.
Good afternoon, Seattle Red. Victoria Taft on the Jason Rantz Show right here on Seattle Red, and we're waiting for the takeoff, the launch of the Artemis II's 4-astronaut crew from Cape Canaveral. And so that's what's going on, and it's going to be there for 10 days. Can we just sort of like find out where we are in the launch sequence at this point? We're like 5 minutes away, I think.
Helium purge of the 4 core stage engines downstream of the propellant valve.
Kind of exciting.
This gets all the air and moisture out of there.
It's kind of exciting because this is the first time we're got people back in space going to the moon, or going around it anyway.
Moving through the milestones. All is looking good. Coming up in just a few seconds, we're going to get that thrust vector control actuator test. This is a gimbaling of the engines.
So 3 minutes and 23 seconds to launch. Even the White House got into it today.
There are the 4 RS-25s.
We'll sort of keep this on a low pro.
Shuttle Heritage.
And then
one of
they
them
made a beauty video, as the Trump always does these kind of sort of a hype video. Here we go.
It is America's destiny to be at the forefront of humanity's eternal quest for knowledge and to be the leader amongst nations on our adventure into the great unknown. The human soul yearns for discovery. By unlocking the mysteries of the universe, we unlock truths within ourselves. We're a nation of pioneers, and the next great American frontier is space. And we never completed, but now we start again.
Is this a Madonna song that they did this on?
I believe so, yeah.
What song? Why am I not coming up with the song?
Is it Like a Prayer?
Like a Prayer, yeah. Isn't it?
I think so.
Like a Prayer, yeah. Something like that. Anyway, 10 days are going to be checking to make sure everything doesn't blow up, and God help us if it does. Going to the moon, which is what I think President Trump announced, that we were going to go back to the moon during Trump 45. So, there is that. And this is the current launch sequence underway. We'll listen in a little bit.
Because there's no more margin on these batteries. So we'd have to recycle back to T-10 to recharge if we had a hold.
Oh. But they're not doing that.
1 minute.
Right now, the rocket does not know what the T0 is, but coming up at T-33 seconds, control shifts from the ground launch sequencer to the rocket's onboard autonomous launch sequencer, or ALS. The rocket will count itself down, but honor any holds that could come from the ground. Now, shortly after liftoff, Houston will take control of the rocket, and my colleague Gary Jordan will take over commentary.
GLS, go for your left.
Great call out. The rocket is on its own. 4 brave explorers ready to ride the most powerful rocket NASA has ever launched. Sound suppression water is flowing.
15.
And here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7. RS-25 engines lit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis II now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
Good roll pitch.
Laughing because we haven't seen it yet.
Roll pitch.
Houston now controlling the flight of Integrity on the Artemis II mission around the moon.
Integrity, AMT high. AMT high.
On time, passing 30 seconds into the flights. Integrity passes the alternate MECO. Target milestone. Mission Control Houston seeing good performance on the 4 main engines. Space Launch System core stage. Integrity, 3 miles in altitude. Traveling more than 1,200 miles per hour.
Okay. Pretty amazing.
Mission elapsed time, passing 1 minute, approaching max Q.
On, Ponce de Leon. Stan, we have you loud and clear on Ponce de Leon. Have you the same.
Communication signal transfer confirmed as Integrity and its crew go supersonic. Approaching 90 seconds into the Artemis II mission. Integrity is 14 miles in altitude, 8 miles downrange, traveling more than 2,600 miles per hour.
Pretty nifty. You know, some of us remember the Challenger incident when they go and they lost telemetry at a certain point. So you always want to kind of
1 minute, 50 seconds of mission elapsed time, standing by for main engine throttle down to 85%, ahead of solid rocket booster separation, expected at the 2-minute, 9-second mark. We see throttle down. Confirmed separation. Main engine's throttling up, guidance converged.
Integrity, guidance converged, performance nominal, upper stage RCS ready. Copy all, Stan.
So they went.
Integrity, SM priming complete. SM priming complete.
2 minutes, 45 seconds of mission elapsed time into the Artemis II mission. Thrusters on Integrity and upper stage confirmed in a ready state, ahead of service module fairing separation.
This is NASA's first time
3 minutes
back
into the flight.
going
Integrity,
around
49
the moon.
miles in altitude, 78 miles downrange, now
SpaceX
passing
has nothing to
5,000
do
miles
with it,
per hour.
overtly. Manned flight, 10 days. Trying to figure out how they're going to put a village on the moon.
Standing by for launch abort system jettison.
Using the water, frozen water.
Houston Integrity, good last jettison, great view. Copy jettison, Team Eco 8+02. We see the same on board, Stan. And Houston has you loud and clear on Tidris at the Carmen line. Outstanding, Stan. We have you the same.
3 minutes, 50 seconds into the flight of Artemis II. Wiseman, Glover, Cook, and Hansen cross the boundary to space with good comm checks. GPS signals acquired after last jettison now working on internal checks to verify accuracy.
Pretty cool.
Flight dynamics officer analyzed the time of main engine cutoff, confirmed at 8 minutes, 2 seconds, time of MECO.
All right, so Cape Canaveral is the place to be again. And so the Artemis 2 mission takes off for 10 days in going around the moon, trying to, I guess, taking pretty pictures, trying to figure out if they can operate properly the equipment that they have in this particular vehicle, and then making sense out of it all so that next time they can go to the moon again and be on the moon and try to figure out if they can put that, if you will, village on the moon using a lot of the things that are right there, on the moon. Water, frozen water, get air from there, or oxygen from there, all kinds of things. So I'm no expert. It sounds really cool. And I'm very happy that we took as much of it as we did. If anything new happens, we will obviously come back and let you know what's going on. Very nice, though. Let's see. I'm going to make sure I say everything I need to say about what they're doing. I like the safety, biological radiation research, manual piloting, and it's not entirely autonomous, so there will be manual piloting. So good. Excellent. Man's going back to the moon. Neato torpedo. Thank you, President Trump, for doing that. I know people are like, I can't believe you said that, Victoria. Yeah, you can. He did. That's what he did. Yeah. Okay. Golly. So what else do we have going on this afternoon? In a couple of different things. The sugar that I had on the way to work today, it's kicking in. So how are you doing on the sugar thing, Jackson?
I'm pretty good about not. I don't have like a huge sweet tooth, so my fiance is horrible. But
yeah, she'll get over it.
She's hooked.
She'll get over it soon. She will.
I don't know if she will.
I have been so off the overt sugars that I of course I do drink wine, and I do like beer, but that's it. And then today I had candy because guess who went to look for the Easter candy for some very important visitors that I have. Yeah, it would be me. And I went there and I thought, I'll keep it in the car. Well, that was a bad idea. Very bad idea. How are we doing on time? We good? Do I have time to tell everybody about the layoffs that we've just heard about? And
you do, yeah.
Yes, I do. Excellent. Well, we're not happy about it. Don't get me wrong. But the thing is that the two major companies in Seattle have decided that they are going to slough some jobs in Seattle and some in Redmond too. So what we have Oracle announcing that it is laying off some, I don't know, what is it? Meta and Oracle laying off a couple, literally hundreds of people because, a couple of reasons. One of the reasons is Meta's laying off 168. Oracle's laying off a fewer number, but they're all laying off. And part of the reason is, as you would, because Seattle, Washington, and the millionaire's income tax deal is that they do want to reduce their footprint in the city of Seattle because somewhere along the line there became a disconnect between the free market system that we call capitalism, and the commies don't like that. And so there's more folks like that in Seattle these days and operating Seattle. In fact, the top commie is the mayor. So in the city of Seattle. And so people are getting the heck out. So that is an important thing you must keep in mind. Then, so Meta lays off and Oracle lays off. And the reason they also want to do that is because they are now they need money. Not because they need money to expand AI and to begin, if they already haven't done so, which I'm sure they have, gear up lots of money and staff up for that. So Meta laid off 168 folks in the Seattle area. Yeah. And so they wanted to make sure that they can put that money into focusing on AI And artificial intelligence, it's where it's happening, and we're already using it. In fact, I got a really interesting interview in the 5 o'clock hour with a guy who has just written a book called Code Red. And it's about AI, and it doesn't mean necessarily that everything is terrible, we're all going to die. He's not coming at it from that angle. He's talking about some of the reasons why we're doing it. He talks about some of the answers we'll find if we use AI, and how we need to ride herd on the moral code, hence the name Code Red. And he wants everyone to recognize what they're looking at when we are looking at AI and using AI, which we are every single day. So, I mean, I always have to fact check my AI. Do you have to fact check your AI?
I like to, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think it's important. It's wrong a lot.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Jackson, thanks. Okay, here we go. Got to take another break. Paying the bills. It's Victoria Taft in for Jason Rantz. Seattle Red, 770 AM.
You didn't work hard to watch your retirement unravel. You saved, you sacrificed, you built something meaningful for yourself and for your family. Hi, I'm elder law attorney Rajiv Nagaich. I've seen what happens when unexpected health events collide with traditional retirement plans. Savings that took decades to build drains away faster than anyone expected. At LifePoint Law, we help you build a life plan to help you protect your assets and way of life. If you are retired or thinking about retiring, now is the time to double-check your retirement plan.
Retirement doesn't have to feel like a gamble. With straightforward planning and clear answers, LifePoint Law replaces fear with clarity, but only if you start now. Attend the next seminar this Saturday in Bothell, April 7th in Bremerton, the 9th in Olympia, or the 11th in Federal Way. Seats are limited. Sign up now at lifepointlaw.com. Visit lifepointlaw.com.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer helps you easily find and buy the right coverage for you. It's everything you've always wanted. Well, I mean, as far as a website that lets you shop, quote, and buy insurance in one place. But hey, maybe that is everything you've always wanted. Yeah, people have different types of dreams. And if all you've ever been searching for is a website that helps you choose home insurance rates and coverage, boy, do we have great news about Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
A recent 5-star General Transmission Google review.
Well, I went to General Transmission because they're the only shop I could find advertising they'd fix my transmission instead of replacing it. Mark took my transmission out, showed me the problem, and suggested a repair. Super honest, super fair, super knowledgeable, and they saved me thousands. I'm a customer for life. Thanks, Mark. No other shop would have done that for me.
Need more convincing? Check out General Transmission's other 5-star Google reviews and let them speak for themselves. And learn more at generaltransmission.com.
Gold demand is skyrocketing to record highs. As more Americans rush to preserve their savings, will there be enough gold? I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your 401k or IRA savings. Gold offers tangible security that can't be tracked, stolen, or inflated. That's why I strongly advocate for gold IRAs. To learn more, text the word SECURE to 989898 now. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, and their thousands of great reviews prove I'm not alone. So don't wait another second. Protect your retirement savings today and see how easy it is to move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals. Text SECURE to the number 989898 for your free gold IRA info kit. Again, SECURE to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply.
This is
SeattleRed.com, the only place for local news.
He's using this, the mayor,
without the liberal spin.
to try to push back against National Guard coming to Portland to tackle crime and immigration.
Sign up for the newsletter and get the very latest local conservative news, opinion, exclusive video content, and more delivered right to your inbox every day.
We have got to stop entertaining this victim mentality.
Make it the first site you read every day. SeattleRed.com.
Good afternoon, Victoria Taft in for Jason Rantz, Seattle Red, AM 770 AM. Either way, it's the best place to get your news and information for a fantastic afternoon. Hey, we've got a couple other things to tell you about this afternoon besides the Artemis Air big spaceship going up there and going to be around the moon, doing that for 10 days, getting ready for landing on the moon at some point in a future endeavor. But we've got some also more closely to the Earth stories about riding in airplanes. And I don't know, have you heard about the exploding Stumptown coffee?
I have, yeah.
I mean, honestly, I do worry about this. I mean, how is it that you wanted to vie for the contract? You put in your RFP, I want this gig, and your Stumptown, and you didn't figure out that at a certain elevation, your coffee machine isn't going to work and it explodes coffee?
This sounds like a Seinfeld episode to me, kind of.
The Portland-based Stumptown Coffee, history of exploding at high altitudes and burn an Alaska Airlines flight attendant in 2024. And then others reported the same problem. This lawsuit, filed on behalf of yet another Victoria Waldron, alleges that she was badly burned on an Alaska flight when an onboard coffee maker catastrophically failed in the galley of the plane because it reached altitude. And all of a sudden, pow! She was pregnant at the time and said that the coffee burned her chest and several areas of her body. She said that she has permanent scarring. Yikes. Emotional distress. Yeah, that would freak me out. And may need further surgery to address the issue. And hers is not the only incident. It has happened, as I mentioned, multiple times. And it seems to me, like what happened was the Stumptown guys are going, well, we didn't realize that it would explode. We didn't know that at altitude it explodes. The lawsuit does not seek a specific amount, but I imagine that there might be others jumping on. And I'm sure Stumptown's going, I wish we had never vied for that contract. I mean, I wish we hadn't. It's worth it. And my favorite story of the day, however, is another flight story. This one's out of the Miami airport. Now, the Miami airport, they're very serious at this airport, and they're about the second. Have you ever take a second bag as a carry-on on the plane?
Well, everyone knows not to do that, right?
No. Everybody does it. I mean, okay, everybody's doing it. You can have for the first time in months and months and months, I actually carried on all my luggage. And I only had two pieces. I had my personal piece and I had my bag. Well, these women who are accused of refusing to leave an aircraft had their personal luggage and they had two pieces of luggage. And then they refused to pay for the extra carry-on bags at the Miami International Airport on Sunday. And, you'd think, well, what could possibly happen? Well, a lot could happen. Allow me to give you and elucidate the details. The three women were on a Frontier flight. Well, they were attempting to board it. And then they got on it. They just burst onto the plane because they go, well, we're not paying for the extra bags. And it was just not good. And so they did get in a confrontation with the person at the gate. Those people are always really nice. Hi, Victoria, welcome. You know, you put your phone there with your little magic ticket, your golden ticket,
boarding pass.
Boarding pass. Yeah, thank you. I was groping. Could you tell? Boarding pass? I only have 5,000 of them in my Apple wallet. Do you keep the old ones? I keep the old ones. It's sad.
I get rid of them.
Yeah, I don't. I just keep them until I get sick of them. But I'd like to find out what I've been doing for the last year of my life or so. I remember going on that trip. We travel fairly frequently. So anyway, all along the West Coast most of the time. So anyway, they were trying to aboard the Frontier flight from Miami to Philadelphia when they had the confrontation at the gate with an airline employee. And she said, hey, dude, you got to pay for the extra bag. And according to, this gets better, an arrest report, the women had been asked to step out of line to pay for the bag. When they declined, the employee said that they would be removed from the flight. And so what happened was they said, oh, no, we're just getting on the plane. We don't have to listen. Let's just go. And so they thought, well, they're never going to hold the fight. They're never going to do that. Well, it turns out that they did. Indeed. They refused to take off. They bolted the gate. They went past the door that had been marked restricted, got on the plane, and then guess what? They got hauled off. They resisted arrest. And all sorts of multiple warnings came as a result. And sadly, for these women, they were arrested. I really got to see the video of this. That must have been quite the show. Enjoy prison, baby, one onlooker could be heard saying on said video. Wow. I guess it pays to pay for your extra bags. All right, we've got more coming up after the top of the hour news. Latest on Artemis. Everything's still going fine. And much, much more as we continue. Victoria Taft in for Jason Rantz, Seattle Red, 770 AM.
Progressive's accident response can detect and send help when you need it most, after a major car accident. But other accidents, you're on your own. Like when you accidentally call your wife Mom. When you accidentally say Happy Holidays on someone's birthday. When you accidentally wave at someone you thought was waving at you. We can't help with those accidents, but Progressive's accident response provides peace of mind after major car accidents. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Hey, North Sound and Eastside homeowners, it's Jason Rantz. If your furnace is getting older or not keeping up, check out CM Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. When you upgrade your cooling system with CM Heating, you can get a free furnace on select systems. Yep, free. CM Heating also offers a free in-home estimate for system replacement so you can understand all your options first. Visit cmheating.com and schedule your free estimate.
License CMHEAHL 751LW, CMHEAHL 754L3, CMHEAHL 750LP.
Jason Rantz on Fox News.
Washington State Governor Bob Ferguson has signed the state's millionaire tax into law. Is there any chance the whole thing could be overturned?
We have a constitution that states very clearly that property and income are the exact same thing, and if you're going to tax them, they have to be taxed uniformly. This was originally challenged in 1932 after an initiative during the Great Depression, and it has been rejected every single time since then.
Get the latest exclusive content from Jason Rantz, only at SeattleRed.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Seattle Red on 770 KTTH Seattle, 97.3 KIRO FM, HD3 Tacoma Seattle, 94.5 K233 DT Eastlake, 33 BU Seattle.
This is a Fox News alert. A successful liftoff. I'm Lisa Lacera. Artemis 2 taking off from Cape Canaveral on its 10-day mission to fly around the moon. It's the first moon mission in more than 50 years.
You could just feel the rumble of the rocket as it was lifting off. Some of the Falcon 9 rockets, the orbital missions to the International Space Station, it's a smaller rocket, and, it's amazing. You hear it ripping through the atmosphere. This was a much larger vehicle. It was more like shuttle launches where you could just feel it in your chest. An incredible experience.
Fox's Jonathan Seri at Cape Canaveral. The Artemis 2 is carrying 3 Americans and 1 Canadian. It took off from the same launch site that sent Apollo's explorers to the moon. President Trump set to address the nation this evening, giving an update on Operation Epic Fury.
13,000 combat flights have struck 12,300 targets and destroyed 155 Iranian vessels. In 2 to 3 weeks, it will wind down, according to White House officials who tell us tonight's remarks will highlight how the Pentagon has met these goals: destroy Iran's deadly ballistic missiles and production facilities, annihilate their navy, ensure their terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region, and guarantee that Iran can no longer obtain a nuclear weapon. Iran's president complained portraying Iran as a threat is neither consistent with historical reality nor with present-day observable facts.
Fox's Peter Doocy at the White House. There are also reports that the president wants to remove the U.S. from NATO, though that would require Senate approval or an act of Congress. The White House says NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte will meet with President Trump next week. Senate and House Republicans reaching a deal that would reopen the Department of Homeland Security. America is listening to Fox News.
Here's a tale of Tina searching up and down for decent GLP-1s, but got spun around.
Till Good RX wrote in, hey, we got something new. GLP-1 prescriptions, all FDA approved.
Brand name meds, no flags that are red.
Clear pricing from the start. None of those hidden fees in your cart.
Delivered to your door or pick up same day. Darn tootin'.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Hot foot it to goodrx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Folks! The yellow light! I'm walking here! I'm walking!
Howdy ho, Victoria Taft in for Jason Rantz, Seattle Red, 770 AM. How's it going? How's the monsoon? I'm inside now. I came to Seattle just in time for it. It's a special monsoon mini moon vacation. Mini monsoon. I'm working on it. I think we can probably eke out a new holiday for it. Well, lots going on in the news, so let's find out what's trending, and it's brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
What's trending in Trumplandia?
In Trumplandia, he is making more moves today. And I think it telegraphs what he thinks the Senate and the House are going to do on the issue of the SAVE Act. Donald Trump signing an executive order today requiring that the Social Security Administration and Department of Homeland Security agencies create a nationwide list of eligible voters. And there will be, if they're going to use mail-out ballots, mail-in ballots, there's going to be an identifier on each envelope with the ballot. One ballot, one man. Here's how Donald Trump explained it today, signing it. Let's find out what he says.
Take some time, and I'll make the signature absolutely perfect, so it looks very good. So far, so good. Okay, so that's a big deal. Very proud of it. And I don't know how it can be challenged. You'll probably challenge it. You may say, find a rogue judge. You get a lot of rogue judges, very bad people, very bad judges. But that's the only way that can be changed. And hopefully we'll win an appeal if it is. But I don't see how anybody can challenge it. I don't see how they can challenge it.
They challenge everything, Donald Trump. They challenged your attorney-client privilege. They challenged whether or not you could use a bank. They challenged the ability for there to be what do you call that, double jeopardy involved in cases that you were involved in, and then they brought them back like Frankenstein's monster, like Dracula, like, some guy coming out of and then they went after you again. How do you think that they couldn't possibly go after you again? Howard Lutnick, Commerce Secretary, explaining how this EO will work until it is, tossed out by a federal judge in a nationwide order.
The states, right, run these elections. They will, if they want to use the U.S. mail, the U.S. Postal Service, they're going to get a code, a barcode from the U.S. Postal Service, and they're going to put that on the envelope, and we will have one envelope per vote. None of this time where we have no idea, there's no observers to mail, there's no envelopes, there's no certainty. That's all going to go away, and what the president is doing today is he's going to make sure that mail-in ballots are safe, secure, and accurate, and will have a clear distinction. If you voted by mail, you will have it on the envelope. Obviously not on the ballot, but on the envelope. So we will know 1 million mail-in ballots. There'll be 1 million envelopes, and you'll be able to know exactly, correctly, that citizens voted.
I mean, I think that's he's being very hopeful there. It's aspirational. And we're very happy that someone's attempting to do something about mail-in ballots. I would prefer that they just get rid of them and just go back to the ballots that we had. If you want to go on vacation or something like that, then you have to apply for one, and you actually have to show ID for that. That would be cool. But if we're going to use this pile of poo way of running the world's top superpower, then I guess putting a stamp of some sort on the envelope to make sure that everybody's copacetic, one vote, one man, one woman, one vote, then I guess maybe. Because here's the thing. Like I said before, he's not so sure the SAVE Act thing is going to go in. And so Donald Trump is going, okay, fine. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stick my hand in the beehive again. I'm going to sign this EO. I'm going to challenge the use of email or mail-out ballots, mail-in ballots, both of them. And that's it. And we're going to see. We're going to see what happens later when they challenge it. But he still says, hey, we can use mail-out ballots, mail-in ballots. I say both because for a time there, and in California and I think Washington too, they mailed ballots out to anybody on a list, regardless of where that address was, whether they'd voted, all kinds of things. So they sent out, ghost ballots all over the place. So that's why I say mail out, mail in. Grand opening, grand closing. So Howard Lutnick talking about how it's going to work, and I hope he's right. It requires the Social Security Department to create a nationwide list, which we already have. Like, for example, in the state of Washington, The state of Washington claims that 700,000 people, 700,000 people in 35 of the 39 counties, thank you, we the govern, for this information. Glenn, thank you. You are a wonderful person. And those people are on the rolls. And the state of Washington Department of Licensing claims that those people are attached to a Social Security number. And so that, well, see, they've given us ID. That's a Social Security number. We've got the ID. Problem. The same Department of Licensing that claims that there are people who are attached to their Social Security number on the Washington state voter rolls also don't check Social Security numbers on the state voter rolls. So they claim to, well, see, there's got to be a Social Security number there. They don't even check. And of those, according to Glenn Morgan, 25,000 people have absolutely zero identifying information that not only claims that they're a U.S. citizen, but whether or not they actually live in the state of Washington. This is a problem. This is a problem, obviously. But, well, they're going to try to solve it at least partially with this deal. Requires the election offices to use barcode identifiers for the ballots. Requires the U.S. Post Office not to mail out any ballots to those voters not on the list. Increases criminal liability of election officials if they send ballots to ineligible voters from the newly created list. Okay. The Oregon State Attorney General has already filed a lawsuit, of course, because, he's right in so many respects. People who don't want to fix the system don't want to fix the system because it benefits them. Cui bono? Who benefits? And the other thing is they want to, they know that, it's a little, they can cheat. It's malleable. All right. What else is trending?
What's trending? Crime.
Have you seen this video of this man who was pushed into the oncoming light rail train at the Northgate station? But for his quick action and his ability to stay standing, balance, everybody, it matters, he would have died or been maimed by the light rail train if this psycho who tried to push him in front of the train, the light rail train. And now we find out a little bit more about Homeboy who did this. And we find out that the man who tried to push the guy, the poor victim, in front of the train, well, it turns out, I know this. Stop me if you've heard this one before. Had you heard this one before? About the man has been released from a mental health facility?
That doesn't sound right.
That he was released or that he was in a mental health facility in the first place?
Actually, yeah, now that you mention it, it is kind of surprising he was even in one to begin with. I have such low standards or expectations.
Oh, man. Well, his name's 27. Oh, his name is not 27-year-old. It's Alicio Melendez. He's been charged now with attempted murder. And the video, let's listen to the partial reporting from Cairo television, Cairo 7, talking about this case and how this guy has actually attacked somebody before. Did you hear that? Yeah, he stabbed his sister. Oh, yeah, let's let that guy out of the mental ward.
Terror on the rails. This footage shows what prosecutors are calling attempted murder. You can see a man in dark clothes standing around on the platform. When he sees a train's about to approach, he shoves a passenger who's looking at his phone straight towards the tracks. That passenger manages to stay standing, then the man shoves him again and runs off.
Your Honor, this is State of Washington versus Alicio Melendez.
Prosecutors say that man is Alicio Melendez. He was arraigned Tuesday morning, but a judge ordered us not to show his face after his attorney argued there were still questions over the suspect's identity.
Okay. he did have a hoodie on, so it was hard to tell from the from the back because he only had video that was of his back and a clear video of him pushing the man, but you just can't see his face that well. But let's think. You think it might be the same guy? Maybe. He was found nearby. We resume the report from Cairo.
We still have a identity issue in this case, also based on the generic nature of the clothing.
Investigators say they visited a mental health facility near the light rail station, showed an image of the suspect to an employee, and that employee identified the man as Melendez.
So they had to go to a mental health facility to get the ID on the guy because he'd stabbed his sister and then got put away, but he was such a good, perfect patient that he was let go. He was let out. Great.
Detectives say they found the clothing from the surveillance footage in his room, but a judge agreed the clothing was generic.
I do believe that there remains a question regarding identity. There was no photo ID or montage ID or show-up ID that was done that I can tell.
There were also arguments over Melendez's competency. Prosecutors say he had a bench warrant out of Renton for assault and was found incompetent to stand trial after allegedly stabbing his sister in the stomach. After the attempted murder arrest, he reportedly told investigators someone might have stolen his clothes, suggesting the person responsible was, quote, my twin that I don't have. The judge ruled he'll undergo a mental evaluation.
No.
Based on defense's representations regarding interactions with the defendant, review of collateral sources, as well as the defendant's prior history of incompetency, I'm going to order the 1077 evaluation.
Okay, so he's been given a psych eval. And so the issue, of course, is why was he allowed to get out of the mental health facility? This is interesting because the initial report I saw was that, well, he had spent some time in a mental health facility and then you find out in another story, it's because he stabbed his sister. And then you find out that he stabbed his sister and then he stood trial, but was incompetent to stand trial because he's a psycho. And now he's out pushing people in front of the train. I see those things in New York where I'm freaked out because the people just want to get close up to the train. When it comes in, I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be ready for that door. It's like waiting for the monorail at the SEA airport. Are we calling it SEA?
No, please don't call it that.
Can I just call it SeaTac?
No, you should call it SeaTac.
I should call it.
Jason and I talk about this all the time.
I know.
They want people to call it SEA, and we hate that. It is and forever will be SeaTac.
It's SeaTac. Honestly. Thank you for giving me that permission. As the fill-in host occasionally, here's what happens. I have to make sure that he can break all the rules, but I have to make sure if I can break the rules. And so as a result, I'm breaking the rules. So SeaTac, so they get close to the monorail there, coming into the end gates or whatever. And so people just gather in. Now, mind you, there's no open portion of that, so you can't push somebody in front of the monorail. But I will say that it is a little freaky when you see all the people gathering around the doors, and you see the video of them doing that on the heavy rail system, not to be confused with light rail system in New York City, and people are gathering around said trains or where the train will be, and then boom, somebody gets pushed in, and then we find out it's happening here. Now, where'd that guy, if he's been hanging out in a mental health facility and they found his clothes and he claimed that someone stole his clothes, and so he's got a doppelganger out there in a black hoodie and black clothes, and is that falling apart yet? Are we falling apart on the story yet? Anyway, just very bad idea, bad. Washington State. It is one of the hobby horse of mine is one of those, when you get to the point where you go, he was a perfect inmate at the prison. Or he was a perfect inmate in this psych ward of the mental hospital. What else can they be? Can they, I mean, well, he didn't rape any women while he was in there. Oh, well, there, huzzah. Wow, didn't see that one coming.
It's kind of why they're there, so they can't do anything.
Oh, man. And so it is apparently at the old mental health facility that has a guy who was found innocent, or they don't actually say innocent, not guilty because he's a whack job. Okay. And he was not able to stand trial because he's so mentally ill. But what happens? He's out and he's pushing people in front of the train. Now, there's a problem with that. Ah, yes. And then what else is trending? Do we have time for that?
What's trending?
You do.
National.
Yes. This is so sad. This is such a sad story. And it just goes to the point where, you know, we tolerate all of these murals that people put up. You know, like they'll pay for a muralist to come over and put a pretty picture by their business. Or there will be an NGO, a charitable organization, a 501c3, and they raise money and they say, we'd like to have an art installation here. And so it is that the government hands over a wad of money to give them in a grant for this. So there are all kinds of art installations that are not great. I remember there was one, and this was a Southern California city, in which they put up multiple fake men, mannequin-like beings, and they covered their faces as if they were Antifa and put it in front of City Hall. And I thought, you know, that's annoying. These scare me, but be that as it may, I knew that this was going to be gone in just a matter of a few weeks. But no. So Providence mayor does not want a mural to honor the Ukrainian woman who came to America to escape the Ukraine-Russia war and her family, and she's just getting by, and she's the one who was killed on the North Carolina train by the wackadoodle-doo. Mr. I have a knife and I'm going to use it. Just immediately, right out of Braveheart. And so the mayor of Rhode Island is now calling for a mural reportedly backed by Elon Musk to honor Irina Zarutska. Now, remember, this particular mural has been turned down in the area where she was murdered. So now in Rhode Island, the city is calling for a mural reportedly backed by Elon Musk to honor Irina Zarutska, the Ukrainian woman who was stabbed. Her head was nearly sawed off. He stabbed her so deeply. I mean, it was Charlie Kirk all over it was god awful. The murder of the individual depicted in this mural was a devastating tragedy, but the misguided, isolating intent of those funding the murals is like the one across the county is divisive, and it does not represent Providence, Rhode Island. So Providence, Rhode Island, even though they thought, well, this might be okay, now all of a sudden it's not because it's too divisive. Why would it be divisive? Why would honoring a murder victim be divisive? Why? It would only if you think it's wrong to fet a woman who was a victim and her perpetrator, she's white, perpetrator's black. Don't you think that's really a racialist thing?
Yeah.
We want to encourage our community to support local artists whose work brings us closer together rather than divides us.
Didn't he actually say, like, I got a white girl or something when he stabbed her? Or
yes!
Something? Yeah.
He said that right as he gets off the train. Yeah, so it was I'm glad you remembered that. because he did it, obviously, he did it on purpose. You know what really, just hacked me off? There were multiple things, obviously, about this case that were fundamentally horribly wrong. Clearly, a human life has been snuffed out. But then I looked at his hair. I spent a lot of money on my hair. And, I'm not particularly proud of it, but I just know how expensive that hair is. And I'm looking at his hair. And I'm talking to some women I know who happen to be black, because I go, how much? That's like $1,000 hairdo, right? Dude has like all the braids. This is not nothing. This guy had a perfect coif going on. And I thought, who is the person braiding that guy's hair? How is he getting the money for this? Is somebody doing it for free? This guy's a psycho. He's out on his own and killing people. I know. I just raised my voice. The artist Ian Gaudreau, who began the work last week, told the news outlet he never intended for the tribute to be political. Upon learning of a project to memorialize Zarutska, Musk said he would donate $1 million in a September 2025 post on X. $1 million for a mural? I don't think so. So anyway, there's lots of consternation. Mayor doesn't want it because all of a sudden he wants the artwork to be taken down. He doesn't want it because it's divisive. Why? Can we not just simply say, how long is this going to be there? That's not going to be there forever. I mean, even the Black Lives Matter thing in Washington, D.C. didn't last. That they finally took that down too. Pride flags and all sorts of stuff, whatever.
Want to hear what one Democrat state rep had to say about it?
Yes.
This is David Morales, who's in the state assembly there.
Ultimately, we want to make sure that every community member that calls Providence home feels safe. And we can both agree that this mural behind us does not reflect Providence's values, nor does it reflect the creativity that we want to see in our city.
Wait, it's not creative enough? And it doesn't represent their values. Well, can we all agree that murdering somebody who's an innocent bystander, just came from work and escaped from Ukraine to escape from the war, that perhaps that is a value that Providence would go along with, maybe? I mean, and she deserved to live. Can we all agree on that? Oh, jeez. So sad. Oh, good grief. So much more to come on the Jason Rantz Show. We've got a big party going on. Woo-wee. And much, much more. Plus, the Artemis project has taken off, and we'll talk about that. Yeah, it just launched into space. It's going to the moon, or around it anyway. I'll tell you about that. It's flawless takeoff today. Pretty awesome. The launch worked. Victoria Taft in for Jason Rantz, Seattle Red.
SeattleRed.com.
Washington is a sanctuary state.
Local.
This was brought on by Democrats.
Conservative.
Democrats got all excited, high on their own supply.
Bold.
At least they can appreciate the president coming in with some type of help.
Finally, a website dedicated to local news in Seattle and the Pacific Northwest without the liberal spin.
This is going to be a major issue going forward.
Make it the first site you read every day. SeattleRed.com.
When was the last time someone reviewed your tax return looking for opportunity, not just accuracy? For most people, a tax return is something you file and forget. But what if it's actually a snapshot of decisions made, opportunities missed, and strategies waiting to be uncovered? At Madrona Financial and CPAs, your return isn't just paperwork, it's a roadmap. Brian Evans, CEO and host of Growing Your Wealth, is hosting a live workshop called Your Tax Return Treasure Hunt. In this interactive seminar, he'll walk you through the major schedules of your return, helping you identify missed planning opportunities and disconnects between your tax return and your long-term financial goals. Because your return already tells a story. To reserve your seat, visit madronafinancial.com or call 833-673-7373. And be sure to catch Growing Your Wealth Saturdays at 7 a.m.
This is a paid advertisement. Investments involve risk. See full disclosures at madronafinancial.com.
Oil isn't the only resource hit hard by global events. American farmers are sounding the alarm by fertilizer prices at planting season. Will this disrupt our food supply? Raising prices cause shortages? I'm not waiting to find out, and neither should you. Go to mypatriotsupply.com, get a 3-month emergency food supply. They'll include $200 worth of extra survival protein absolutely free. After serving more than 3 million American families since 2008, you can trust mypatriotsupply.com. Go to mypatriotsupply.com.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need to get the job done. With fast delivery you can depend on and access to technical product experts ready to help you meet any challenge. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, what a surprise. We got tons of rain here in the Northwest in the late winter into the spring. It all adds up. Now's the time of the year when the ground becomes completely saturated with water, and that can cause real problems in your crawl space. It's Mike Salk here, and groundwater intrusion in crawl spaces, it's pretty common, but it's got to be addressed before it causes structural damage or even worse, toxic mold in your home. You don't want any part of that. That's why if you're worried about any groundwater in your crawl space, you call Crawl Pros and you get a free corner-to-corner inspection. They'll climb into that crawl space, see what the condition is. They will go where you don't want to, definitely where I didn't want to. They came to my house and handled all this stuff. If they find water, they'll install a groundwater drainage system and a sump pump and reroute that water outside your home's footprint where it belongs. Don't take the risk. Do what I did. Have Crawl Pros come out for that free corner-to-corner inspection. They'll even check your attic at the same time. If you're worried that anything is going on with your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com.
Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. For a limited time, we'll pay the sales tax. That's right, we'll discount all new orders the cost of the sales tax on the project. Call today and let one of our pros come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Bonneville Seattle and Seattle Red are looking for organizations that regularly distribute information about employment opportunities to job applicants or have job applicants to refer. If your organization would like to receive notifications of job vacancies, please notify Human Resources at 1820 East Lake Avenue East, Seattle, Washington, 98102, or email us at seattlealljobs@bonneville.com or call 206-726-6902. Bonneville is an equal opportunity employer.
Jason Rantz on Fox News.
Jason, I listen to Gavin Newsom and I think everything now is some sort of deflection.
What's really odd to me, because he's obviously running for president, is he runs California. Usually when you're the governor of any state, you're going to point to your own accomplishments. But when you have his kind of record, you can't really do all that much to point to what it is you've been able to do unless you want to sink your own campaign.
The Jason Rantz Show every afternoon from 3 to 7 on Seattle Red. Bookmark SeattleRed.com now for exclusive content.
Snoqualmie, Mercer Island, Des Moines.
This is the Big Local on the Jason Rantz Show.
Shoreline, Woodinville, Burien.
Stories about you, not about Seattle.
Well, welcome to the Big Local, brought to you by Alpine Specialty Services. We go to Kent first. Because this is just one of those stories that people need to know about. A guy committed an illegal act. How about that? And then the Kent Police Department saved him after he fled from said illegal act. And it went down like this. He became trapped in his burning car after he crashed while running from police. I'm sorry to laugh. On Saturday night. So these stories, they always take a couple of days to get to trickle into the political and other water table of information in Washington. And this, oh man. The officers first received a call from the manager of the Safeway on Washington Avenue, reporting that the man was assaulting staff So you can't do that. Assaulting people is a felony. So a sergeant arrived, and then he saw the suspect leave the parking lot, speeding off in his Honda. Officers further down the road on 104th Avenue threw stop sticks, which caught one of the suspect's tires, but he kept on driving. The suspect then crashed through a fence at Wrighton Road and became trapped in his car as it caught fire. So frightening. And so what did they do? Yeah, they put the fire out and they got the guy out of his car. Mm-hmm. Well, yes. Okay, next we go to Tacoma, where a house party went incredibly wrong because somebody brought a gun and they apparently didn't know how to use it. And 100 shots were fired at the house party. Or maybe they intended for it to go off because indeed one person died at a house party. Now, the last time I checked, aren't parties supposed to be fun? I mean, yes.
Because it depends on your definition of fun.
Well, I guess. So the house party in South Tacoma turned deadly early Sunday morning. You know, as a parent, I always told my kids, not that they always heeded my advice, but I always told them, you know, after 12 o'clock, nothing good ever happens. You know that? Yeah. Well, at 12:35, police say more than 100 rounds were fired at a home on the 100 block of East 91st Street. And so somebody decided that they were going to come and shoot the place up. What sounded like automatic fire, a Glock, and chaos that ensued after that, said one neighbor. People up and down the street running around. Well, I don't blame them. I'd get the heck out of there, too. Nobody's identified the suspects or confirmed how many individuals may have been involved because the people who went to the party aren't exactly telling the police anything because you don't say nothing. 2 women struck by the gunfire. One died at the scene while the other was transported to a hospital and is expected to survive. It's unfortunate, certainly terrible that it had to be someone as young as that. Thank God. How do we know how old they are? Just somebody, a woman, died at the scene. Another transported, and thank God it wasn't more people, said a neighbor. Wow. I mean, yeah. Residents in the area say the violence has left them shaken. Many declined to speak on camera out of concern for their safety. No, you do. Okay, well, let's find out about the neighbor wanting to remain anonymous because, well, they don't want to die.
It sounded like automatic fire, so I'm assuming a Glock with a switch, and then the chaos that ensued after that. The people up and down the street running around. It's unfortunate, and it's certainly terrible that it had to be someone as young as that. And thank God, it wasn't more people.
Do we know how young these people were? The victims were? Another neighbor says she's wary of taking her kids to this area now. Huh. That's weird.
Seeing everything that there were around 100 rounds fired, it's just so scary. That could have taken a lot of lives. We had 2 kids that were hiding around this area. We just asked them, are you guys okay? They said they're okay and told us good night, and they left. And we got to see the lady that was lying on the tarmac there. Yeah, very, very scary. It scares me a lot. I don't know what I should think about bringing my kids around this area. I mean, there have never been an incident around this area, but it was mind-blowing.
Yeah, mind-blowing. Yeah. Additional footage shows cars quickly leaving the area as people fled on foot. Some neighbors said they encountered young teens hiding in their yard for safety, that lady, for instance. And, the gunfire also caused damage to nearby homes and property. Can you imagine? So, people, gunfire coming into your house. I remember somebody unloaded a 9mm in front of our house, like in Southern California. I'm not even kidding. And we slept in the hall for a week. And I thought to myself, all these people who have to put up with this crap every Saturday night, I can't believe it. So there you go. Well, that's a very sad story. Indeed, very sad. Well, let's see. What else? Where are we going to go now? Ah, yes. This is from King 5 News, and this is also, of course, not from Seattle because this is the big local. So here we have, it is a Dateline Tukwila, where a donated food truck meant to serve Pacific Islander families was basically trashed. And families are trying to make some sense of this. The organization, serves 1,400 Pacific Islander families, and the thieves left their organization with thousands of dollars in repair costs. They drilled into the catalytic converter. They tried getting a catalytic converter. So they ruined everything, drilled into the gas tank, and then it was, you guys, they were trying to help feed the hungry, okay? This particular people group. So they drill in. This is what it sounded like.
We serve 1,400 Pacific Islander families.
February brought a blessing to Tukwila nonprofit Oceania Northwest.
The executive director of the White Center Food Bank, Carmen, was like, hey, Joseph, we just got new vehicles and we're looking to rehouse this food truck.
A donated truck that Joseph Saya says was a game changer for driving fresh food to families in need.
We can actually support our relatives, our Marshallese relatives in Everett. We can support our Chukis relatives in, Pacific County.
But March.
We had it for maybe 2 weeks then
brought
voila.
The opposite.
Rising gas prices.
And then a crime that was clearly calculated.
As we were filling it, we see the gas leaking, and then we noticed that there were drill holes in the gas tank. I also noticed the catalytic converter was sawed off.
Don't you notice that when you start the car up? Catalytic converter, doesn't it all of a sudden sound like, or that's a muffler I'm probably thinking about. Doesn't that sound weird without it?
Yeah, I'm not much of a mechanic, or I'm not much of a car guy, so.
Somebody please do the text line. Dial the text line. Punch in the number. Here it is, 800-465-8770 to tell us that, don't you notice when the catalytic converter's gone?
I would think so.
Well, that's the question. So somebody will dial in. They've already dialed in about the CTAC situation, and they've been calling it SEA for 5 years, according to one of our crack correspondents out there, which is great. Except I'm still not persuaded. He also chimes in and says about the shooting that there are reasons people shoot at each other 100 times. I don't know. I guess so. In this case of the food truck, where they they drill into the catalytic converter, and they drill into the gas tank, and they ruin it for everybody. And this is a new truck to feed the hungry. Oh, man. People can be so dumb. Man, oh man. I say, when they catch these guys, and maybe they will, there's video of them, but I don't know, maybe they stole that guy who's in the mental wards clothes and just used his clothes so that they could go incognito and put that hole in the gas tank and steal the catalytic converter.
It's a classic whodunit.
It is. If your catalytic converter is missing, your Prius will sound like Sturgis, South Dakota. Yes, that's what I was thinking. You'd know. Thank you very much from the 360. God bless you. Yes, exactly. You got the Sturgis reference, I assume.
No, I didn't. I'm confused.
Oh, are you? Oh, okay. Well, that's where all the bikers go every year in South Dakota. Sturgis, South
okay.
Dakota. Yeah. And, if you're lucky, there will be a sighting of Kristi Noem's husband.
Oh, I think that'd be unlucky, wouldn't it?
Oh, man. We're going to do that for Choose Your News. Yes, as a matter of fact, in Choose Your News, we're almost ready to go there, are we? Okay. You get to pick the news. Shocking pictures of Kristi Noem's husband. We know, we get it. It's radio. We understand. We will describe the pictures to you. And this also answers the long-standing question, who's she married to again? And Then you've got that choice, or woman's double twin relationship sparks court's impossible paternity ruling. Oh, that sounds fascinating. Which one do you want? Choose your news. And you pick the news. Send us a text, 800-465-8770. It's Victoria, in for Jason, Seattle Red, 770 a.m.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, and guaranteed repairs. This dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. At Bucky's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, and a full service history, all at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit Bucky's.com today and drive with confidence. Bucky's.com.
Don't wait, insulate. Last year, American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $2 million in insulation rebates from PSE, more than any provider in the state. If your home was built before 1990, you're eligible for recouping up to 95% of insulation replacement costs. Insulate with American Crawl Space and keep your home warm during the winter and cool during the summer.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz here. Plumbing problems do not wait. You shouldn't wait either. CM Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical, they deliver fast, reliable plumbing services that you can actually trust. That includes drain cleaning, clog removal, repiping, water heater installation and repair. In fact, for a limited time, save up to $200 on the installation of a brand new water heater. Tankless or standard, doesn't matter. Some restrictions apply. But $200 off the installation? That's real savings. With over 40 years serving Snohomish, King, Skagit, and Island counties, CM Heating is an award-winning home services company, and they've got thousands of five-star online reviews to back up the work that they've done. If you need help now, CM offers 24/7 availability and fast emergency response. There's no beating CM Heating. Book your free estimate for a brand new water heater at cmheating.com. And again, all your plumbing needs, cmheating.com, or call 425-259-0550. 425-259-0550. Contractor license CMHEAHL 751LW and plumbing license CMHEAHL 750LP. cmheating.com.
Are you in pain? Have you considered surgery or even joint replacement? Hi, everybody. It's John Curley. Before you make that decision, I recommend you see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. I did, and it's been a game changer. My doctor took a look at my x-rays and said, well, looks like you need a whole new hip. And then he said, wait, how old are you? And I told him, and then he said, well, wait, you're too young for a hip. You're just going to have to, live with the pain. We'll see you in 3 years. It was horrible. Dr. Wagner is a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience performing more than 20,000 stem cell procedures, using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. People with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back doing what they enjoy doing without pain and without surgery. So whether it's a hip like I had, or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
How was your break? It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive.
That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app.
Upside?
Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code THRIVE25 for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code THRIVE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's THRIVE25.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
SeattleRed.com, the only place for local news.
He's using this, the mayor,
without the liberal spin.
to try to push back against National Guard coming to Portland to tackle crime and immigration.
Sign up for the newsletter and get the very latest local conservative news, opinion, exclusive video content, and more delivered right to your inbox every day.
We have got to stop entertaining this victim mentality.
Make it the first site you read every day. SeattleRed.com. You pick the topic on the Jason Rantz Show.
By acclamation, it's the Kristi Noem husband story. That's right. You can't see the pictures, but, I think you don't want to see the pictures. And that's why we allow you to pick your news. And you'll just have to go back home when you get there and look the story up. I'm going to read it from the New York Post story about Kristi Noem's husband. Now you say, Victoria, now who is Kristi Noem's husband? Well, it turns out that he is a insurance czar. He's a baller. He's got lots of millions. And so I think he probably paid for Kristi's glow up, when she became part of the Trump administration. And, thank you very much. And that's wonderful. I, wouldn't mind having the same treatment. But now here's the problem with Homeboy. Turns out he's got an interesting alternative life. Much has been made of Kristi Noem's, the former DHS secretary's, obvious sort of dalliance with another Trump administration employee who's married, Corey Lewandowski. And Lewandowski's been trouble the last, few years anyway. And they've had something going, allegedly. Okay? And now you know why. Because this story tells you everything you need to know. It's pictures of Kristi Noem's insurance millionaire husband wearing clothes and his face pictured in a fetish site, wearing women's body parts, if you will. Think that Canada teacher. Remember the shop teacher?
Oh, right.
The shop teacher, remember that guy? And he insisted upon wearing fake breasts that were so large that I don't think actual women actually have breasts that long. I mean, it was just gargantuan. I mean, they were beyond watermelons. I mean, it was ridiculous. And so what happened was that guy eventually was drummed out because you should not subject children to fetish, your sexual fetishes. Thank you. I know that's from the Department of Duh. However, for some, it is a real conundrum. And I just want you to know you shouldn't do that in the classroom, much less do it in a shop setting where the additional things that you're wearing could get into a drill or a bandsaw or a table saw. So anyway, we go back now to Kristi Noem's husband because the photos show Kristi Noem's husband wearing comically oversized, lopsided breasts, complete with fake protruding nipples to female members of an online fetish community. Hundreds of messages obtained by the Daily Mail, from which this story is written. I almost don't even want. Do you never want to go on the Daily Mail? I mean, tell everybody, Jackson, why no one ever should go on the Daily Mail website.
It's kind of a freak show, I think.
It's a freak show, and you've got more ads coming at you and more it's just catnip. There are crazy stories there. Anyway, including this one. The kinky community involves people injecting their busts with freakishly large amounts of saline in pursuit of a Barbie doll-like appearance. And it's Kristi Noem's husband. Pictures show the South Dakota insurance mogul has 3 children with Noem clad in pink hot pants and a skin-tight, flesh-colored crop top stuffed with enormous balloons to resemble massive breasts. That's her husband. Now, you kind of figure, don't you think they'd probably have an open marriage?
I mean, who would have thought that she'd be the normal one in the relationship?
Well said. I did not. Honestly. In others, he flashes a more flirty, kissy face pose in which he's pursing his lips. The outlet spoke with national security experts who said the existence of such scandalous photographs could have made his wife subject to potential blackmail threats. Well, apparently we've obviated that problem. It's over because they're out. And I think probably, she's asking for prayers, by the way. She's asking for prayers and understanding and privacy at this very hard time of her life. That was what she put out there. Damaging information like this can be tantalizing for a tantalizing lead for a hostile intelligence service. Former CIA officer Mark, and I have to. Do you need Mark's last name? Because it's like multiple syllabic and it's Greek. And I just know that the first pass on this name's going to be bad. It's not going to work. So it's a guy named Mark, used to be an operative for the CIA. He pronounces it very, very bad. Kristi Noem was outed from her role at DHS on March 5th after a pair of disastrous congressional hearings, including fumbling a question about whether she was having an affair with Corey Lewandowski. And now we all know why. We all know why. Oh, my goodness. Noem addressed the shocking photos in a statement to the Post saying she's devastated. The family was blindsided by this, and they asked for privacy and prayers at this difficult time. Wild. Okay. Oh, well. I'd ask for prayers at this time, too. In fact, I will pray for them. I will. That's so crazy. Now you know why. Now you know why the guy's never around. I mean, I as a person who's worked her entire married life, it's one of those times where, there were times she'd show up and she'd be in another country, or she'd be just like Trump, just here and there and everywhere. And I thought, how does she do that with, does her husband, I know he's taking one for the team and everything, but at least we thought then, not at that time. Maybe what he was doing when she was gone on all these trips, maybe he was on those fetish sites and putting his photographs on the fetish sites. How are you a smart guy, a certified smart guy? You're a millionaire. You're an insurance guy. You know risk. And you do that? Insanity. Okay, coming up in the next hour of the program, we're going to talk about the birthright citizenship case that was argued before the U.S. Supreme Court today. We'll do it with a person who's very learned on these issues, and we'll do that coming up next. Victoria Taft, and I'm in for Jason Rantz. Seattle Red, 770 AM.
If you need security for your event or business, contact Security Services Northwest. From armed and unarmed officers to advanced remote monitoring, they've been doing it all since 1977. Go to ssnwhq.com for Security Services Northwest.
General Transmission Repair has you and your car's best interest in mind. They're experts at repairing transmissions and can save you money. If you need a second opinion on your car's failing transmission, generaltransmission.com or 206-878-5759.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Are you stuck staring at your W-2? Are tax refund worries holding you back? You probably have FOMO, the fear of messing up. The fix? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. It's time to overcome your fear of messing up and get your taxes done right. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
This baseball season, Home Comfort Alliance is changing the game. John Curley here. Get the price of a new heating and AC system in just 60 seconds on your phone with no pressure, no waiting. Just a few questions and you get a winning personalized price. That's a home run. And if your system is over 12 years old, it could be costing you up to 20% more or could soon fail. Score a personalized price for a new system in 60 seconds at HomeComfortAlliance.com. Call the comfort people. Home Comfort Alliance.
Seattle Red on 770 KTTH Seattle, 97.3 KIRO-FM, HD3 Tacoma, Seattle, 94.5 K233 DT Eastlake, 33 BU Seattle.
We have liftoff. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The next step taken that will lead to Americans once again setting foot on the moon.
4, 3.
Artemis 2 is off the launch pad.
Booster ignition and liftoff. The crew of Artemis 2 now bound for the moon.
4 astronauts are on their journey around the moon and back. The crew will work together on several tasks while Mission Control is looking toward getting them back on Earth. NASA Press Secretary Bethany Stevens told Fox News the astronauts' relatives are closely watching.
Hoping that their family members come home safe in 10 days when they splash down off the coast of San Diego.
This mission will set up future phases, including Artemis 4, set for 2028, marking the first moon landing since 1972.
Fox's Colonel Scott. President Trump said to update the nation on the military action in Iran in about an hour.
The White House tells us this. President Trump is going to give an operational update on the progress of Operation Epic Fury. He will highlight the United States military's success in achieving its stated goals prior to the operation, which were destroy Iran's deadly ballistic missiles and production facilities, annihilate their navy, ensure their terrorist proxies can never destabilize the region again, guarantee that Iran can never obtain a nuclear weapon, and he is going to reiterate the 2 to 3 week timetable for concluding the operation.
Fox's Peter Ducey at the White House. The Supreme Court heard arguments today over President Trump's executive order banning birthright citizenship. The Trump administration is arguing people in the country illegally should be excluded from citizenship, but Associate Justice Samuel Alito argues.
And what we're dealing with here is something that was basically unknown at the time when the 14th Amendment was adopted, which is illegal immigration.
A ruling is expected early this summer. America is listening to Fox News.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She could get a deal. Book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save.
Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Coach! The yellow light! God, I'm walking here!
Good afternoon. Victoria Taft in for Jason Rantz, Seattle Red. Oh, so much going on. This has been an incredibly busy news day, from the Artemis 2 mission to go to around the moon, to a big speech by the president. That's going to be a national speech on network television coming up at 6 o'clock. And of course, we are going to air that for you live. Find out what he has to say. Indeed, a lot of stuff going on about Iran. I think that's major. That's predominantly what he's going to talk about tonight. So we'll tell you what we know, some stuff about Iran today, a little sit rep for you. And we'll do it after I tell you that we've got to know what's going on with trending. What's trending anyway?
What's trending? International.
That's right, international. And late breaking news, and I wonder if the president will mention this, but apparently Bloomberg is reporting right now in the Strait of Hormuz, the IRGC, which is the Republican Guard of the Iran regime, they're the guys actually running the country right now. So we got to get rid of those dudes. And they're charging tolls for ships transiting the Strait of Hormuz. This is something that they have vowed to do, and now apparently are doing it. They're charging $1 a barrel, out of which there are millions of barrels per ship, paid in yuan or stable coins. So that's interesting. So they want them to pay for it in yuan. So China's involved here, obviously. And so that's according to Bloomberg. Ships must go through an intermediary, submit vessel and cargo details, and receive a permit code to pass. I imagine that the president of the United States might be talking about that. But, of course, they've been getting blowback on the fact that people are still pretending to be confused about what the aims are of the Iran action. And Secretary of State and National Security Advisor, as well as every other conceivable kind of job that Marco Rubio is doing, is also a job of explaining to the American people why the strikes had to happen now.
Many Americans are asking, why did the United States have to attack Iran now? Well, let me explain. Iran wants to have nuclear weapons. Of that, there is zero doubt. If what they truly wanted, which is what they claim, is nuclear energy, well, they could have nuclear energy like all the other countries in the world have it. And that is, you import the fuel and you build reactors above ground. That's not what Iran has done. They build their reactors and their facilities deep in mountains, away from the public glare. And they want to enrich that material. The same equipment that they could use to enrich material for energy, they could use to quickly enrich it to weapons grade.
Yeah. Okay, show of hands. Who didn't know that? Who didn't know that the United States was going for Iran's nukes? Anyone? Anyone? I see no hands. So apparently that one's blown out of the water. And, remarkably, that's coincidental because so has the Iran Navy.
So it is clear that they've been offered every opportunity to have a nuclear program that allows them to have energy, not weapons. And every single time they have turned it down. But why the attack now? Well, what was Iran trying to do? Iran was trying to build a conventional shield, in essence, have so many missiles, have so many drones that no one could attack them, and they were well on their way. We were on the verge of an Iran that had so many missiles and so many drones that no one could do anything about their nuclear weapons program in the future.
Aha. Okay, so we knew that was one of those call-outs. Hey, we know that we want to go after Iran's ballistic missiles and hit them in the drones. And we did. Okay, so we all know that.
That was an intolerable risk. Under no circumstances can a country run by radical Shia clerics with an apocalyptic vision of the future ever possessed nuclear weapons. And under no circumstances can they be allowed to hide and protect that program and their ambitions behind a shield of missiles and drones that no one can do anything about. This was our last best chance to eliminate that conventional threat, that conventional shield that they were trying to build, and the president made the right decision to wipe it out now. That is the goal of this operation, to destroy their conventional missiles and their drone program so they can't hide behind it and finally have to deal with the world seriously about never, ever having nuclear weapons.
Okay, is everybody clear on what the deal is there? Yeah. Well, of course, the fallout has been tricky. It's so tricky that gas prices are rising in other areas of the country as high as they are in Washington, Oregon, and California. So that's horrific. And all of a sudden the Democrats are saying, "Oh, these gas prices are so high. I can't believe it. How dare you, President Trump? You got rid of the bad actors, at least he's trying." And as a result, the Strait of Hormuz is now bottlenecked, and our gas prices, the world gas prices, are going up, and soon could be as high as even Washington State's gas prices. How dare you, President Trump, be responsible for any part of increasing the gas prices to almost what we've got, which, of course... And, of course, the president says that the effects of the war will subside soon because it's going to be over soon, he says. So we'll find out. The U.S. ambassador to NATO, Matt Whitaker. That's what happened to Matt Whitaker. Do we have time for him? Our guest? Okay. Our guest isn't there. Yeah, okay. Matt Whitaker says there's not much left to hit in Iran. They're running out of the targets.
Ambassador, the timeline that President Trump set for this seems to be very important to him to hold to that 6-week timeline. What part do you think that plays in negotiations, knowing that deadline was so publicly set?
Well, I mean, there's not much left, quite frankly, to bomb in Iran. You know, the military has been quite effective and efficient of demonstrating our capabilities. And, you know, President Trump, I think, has, at the beginning of this, suggested it would be 4 to 6 weeks. But, you know, he didn't say that was a hard deadline. It was when we accomplish our objectives. And I think it's very important. You know, President Trump has always chosen diplomacy first and only used military action when diplomacy didn't work or when the Iranians or anyone else we negotiate with demonstrate that they're not willing to make a deal. And so I think, you know, it is pretty clear that we are talking to the right people in Iran.
Okay, and they were able to say, okay, we'll let a few ships go through as a way of showing you that the people with whom you're dealing are the people running the country. So that happened, and now they're charging tolls. So the president will speak to the American people at 6 o'clock tonight. We will carry it live right here on, KTTH. And, the Seattle Reds always all over it. And you'll be informed. We'll find out together what he's going to say. Mostly about Iran. There might be some other stuff as well. Now, another huge case that happened today involved President Trump, as usual. And it was the Supreme Court hearing oral arguments in one of the probably most high-profile cases in years. And it all stems from the president's executive order when he first came back into office. I think it was day one, knowing, of course, that he would get blowback, legal blowback, as he always does. And today it was argued in front of the Supreme Court. And it involves birthright citizenship, as it is, as people say, it is in the 14th Amendment. It is in the citizenship portion of the 14th Amendment. And while there are two schools of thought, and one says it was not meant to do that. It was meant to make sure that the children of slaves were U.S. citizens. And then, because there's no way that birth tourism, illegal aliens, anchor babies and all that stuff, that could not possibly have been part of, that cannot be okay under the 14th Amendment. Okay. So there's your setup. And Will Chamberlain, thank God, with the Article 3 project, I just want to know, thank you so much for coming on the Jason Rantz Show, by the way, on Seattle Red. But I want to know what will happen with the arguments from today. How do you think they went over?
I mean, I think they went reasonably well for the administration, for John Sauer. I think that this was always going to be a somewhat difficult case for the administration to win because there's sort of this common conventional wisdom that says that birthright citizenship just means everybody who's born in the country. But the big problem for the respondents, for the ACLU, is that they don't have a really good way of understanding the meaning of the phrase subject to the jurisdiction thereof. The way that they're framing it is they say what that means is it just means this closed list of 3 exceptions, and there's no further exceptions that can be made, namely the children of ambassadors, the children of invading armies, and American Indians, the tribal Indians at the time of the founding. And so everybody else who's born in the United States outside of those 3 categories would be a citizen under their theory. And the problem, which I think Kavanaugh highlighted, and Gorsuch highlighted, and Alito highlighted, was that if that was what that phrase meant, then why didn't they just list the exceptions rather than coming up with this general rule subject to the jurisdiction thereof that could theoretically have other categories, other examples? And so that's where I think, Sauer has the strongest part of the argument. Now, that said, even the center of the court did push back on Sauer at times, but I think that, they were asking the right questions. The justices had read the briefs. They understood, what the administration's point was, and they were pushing hard on the ACLU attorney on the weakest points in her argument in a way that I don't think she handled very well.
Yeah, everybody's talking about how Trump's people just did poorly today, and and nobody hears what you just said, honestly. I watch John Roberts, and I always worry about him because he's the safe guy. Well, we're going to have to preserve the sanctity of the Supreme Court with each and every one of our decisions. Not that stopped them on the tariffs thing, but anyway. So there's always something. He changed the law changed the verbiage in Obamacare, unwilling to do such. We don't want him to do that, to change the law or to change the verbiage to make something right. It's either right or it's not. Okay, I'm in that camp. But here he is. He's going to be dragged kicking and screaming to change something like this. He's going to narrowly proscribe how they will make a decision, and it may be a big nothing burger. What do you think?
I mean, I don't think the decision is going to be narrow. I don't see a real way for it to be narrow, because even if they tried to make like a statutory decision, it would still be interpreting the exact same language. So I'm of the school that says they're just going to decide the meaning of the constitutional provision one way or the other, and they're going to resolve the case. And there's still a good chance they'll resolve it against the administration. I think, if you're a betting person, it's just it's such conventional wisdom among the legal academy that everybody gets citizenship that I think it's hard to overcome that. But, I still think we have a pretty good shot because the justices are asking the right questions, as I said before, and I still don't think that the ACLU had good answers for them.
I just worry about it. I do. I mean,
Yeah, and Roberts had one point that I thought was pretty trite and not very good. I mean, Roberts had this argument with Sauer where he said, these exceptions at the time of the enactment, the children of ambassadors, they're really small categories. And he was saying, well, the children of illegal aliens now, that's a really big category. So how do you jump that far? And I think the right answer, which I don't think Sauer gave, was the category of the children of illegal aliens born in the United States should be extraordinarily small because these people shouldn't have never been allowed in the country. And moreover, there should have been forces trying to locate them and return them to their country of origin because they never had a right to be here in the first place. So the fact that, multiple executive branches have been derelict in their duty to enforce their immigration law does not mean that this also shouldn't be one of those small categories of people that don't get citizenship because even though they're born here.
There are a lot of people who don't believe that there are places in Southern California, places in the Marianas Islands, places in American Samoa where Chinese tourists come and get on American soil and they're pregnant, they have babies. Nobody expected them to have this birth tourism thing. I don't expect the founders to know everything, obviously. They wouldn't have thought of that. But could that be a persuasive argument in the Supreme Court?
I don't think in and of itself it'll be a persuasive argument, but it's useful in terms of if the court's torn and it feels like it's the statute, or the constitutional provision's ambiguous. It's a good reminder. And the other thing is, there's a lot of literature from the time, even one that John Sauer picked up on today, that Justice Sotomayor asked him about this phrase or this statement that, like, by one of the more racist people who were opposing the enactment.
Yep.
And it was a statement along the lines of, why would we enact this? You're suggesting that Chinese immigrants should be in the same station should have more rights than temporary sojourners. The idea being that everybody understood that people who just were briefly in the country and heading home, that if they had, for some random reason, had a kid here, that kid would not become an American citizen because they're a foreigner. They're temporarily in the country. They lack the requisite domicile and allegiance to the country. That was just a default understanding. And of course it was the understanding because, while illegal aliens wasn't really a concept at the time, temporary visitors certainly were. But it was very uncommon. Mm-hmm. But in the same way, birth tourism should be uncommon. Like, why would you travel that close to your birth? We're incentivizing this totally bizarre gaming of our system. It's a rule no one would agree to ex ante, and yet I don't know. I think the Supreme Court doesn't need to rely solely on the absurdity of the policy to make this decision. There's plenty to look at in the record to show that this was not interpreted that way at the time of the enactment.
The Democrats forced the issue by bringing a lawsuit against his EO, and now people are seeing the issues involved here. I think there were probably more people saying, "Oh, wait, what? How is that fair?" That's a very good question. How is it fair that somebody could just come over, drop a kid, and that's it? I mean, when you've got El Chapo sending his pregnant wife up into an American hospital to have their children so that they're American citizens, that's a problem for me. I mean, I do believe that. Is there a congressional fix around that? Can they, if, for example, the 14th Amendment is construed to mean that anyone having a child in the United States of America has an American citizen? And if that's true, is it then unconstitutional for the Congress to make a law that says that no, you can't do that? I mean, if you are a birth tourist, or if you're an illegal alien, you cannot have kids here, or your kids are not citizens.
Well, that's the thing. The point of this is, and the reason why it would be such a bad ruling if it came down the wrong way, is that it constitutionalizes the rule. It means Congress can't touch it. It's saying that the Constitution requires that Chinese birth tourists, that their children be allowed to be citizens. So what that means is that Congress will have to be much, much, much more aggressive. And so the executive branch will have to be much more aggressive about restricting tourist visas, so that, pregnant women do not come into the country. But it's, it leads to, there are ways to deal with the problem in the sense of you just have to be able to turn people away at the border much more aggressively.
Well, Chamberlain, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And Godspeed. I hope everything goes well with the Article 3 project. I know that Mike Davis was very, very animated today. He was very concerned about how things went today.
Yeah, Mike was not. Mike is a little more of a doomer than I am in terms of what will happen. I still think we got a fighting chance here. I think the Supreme Court is asking the right questions.
Okay. All right. Good. I hope you're right. I hope he's wrong, and I hope you're right. Thank you, Will. Mm-hmm. Appreciate it so much.
Right,
appreciate it. Okay. So that was an interesting insight. No, those guys are all over the courts. They help. They actually help choose people who would be elevated to a federal court position, as well as just keeping track of a lot of these issues as well. Okay. Do we have time to? Do we have time to talk about AI right now, or do I have to kick that to the next half an hour?
We got a few minutes.
Okay. Well, now tech workers in Seattle got another wake-up call this week. And both Oracle and Meta announced layoffs of hundreds of employees. And it's all believed to do two things. This was a purpose pitch, if you will. Reduce their footprint in Seattle, a place that's cutting the rope to tether it to free market moorings with its commie mayor. And it's also a way for them to free up capital for those companies to make investments in AI. So what can we expect from AI in American life and business and the moral moorings of AI? I talked to Winton Hall, who just released a book, Code Red, The Left, the Right, China, and the Race to Control AI. He lays out the problems and solutions in a highly detailed book, highly readable, very well sourced. And he explained on my podcast, the Adult in the Room podcast live stream this week, that there will be pain like this before there's gain from AI. Okay. Very good. So those are the questions. And obviously, those are some of the people I am very concerned about those things as well. Back in a minute.
Taxes was waiting on the refund you needed yesterday.
All right, your car repair is going to run about $3,000.
Now Taxes is getting back on the road with TurboTax and Credit Karma, where you can get your refund up to 5 days faster and get personalized guidance to take every dollar further. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Deposit a federal refund into Credit Karma Money account and early submission of refund data by IRS required. Terms apply. Banking services provided by MVB Bank, Inc. Member FDIC. Credit Karma is not a bank.
Drivers who switch their home and auto with Progressive could save money and time. Other things try to do this, but they really don't. Like the touchscreen at fast food places. It's not like you save time because it takes you longer to use a touchscreen than, I don't know, someone who works there. And another thing, you'd think it would save money because they're not paying a cashier, right? But no, same price. Also, why is there an option to tip? Who am I tipping? Exactly. Anyway, even if you can't save money and time with some things, you could with a Progressive home and auto bundle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. When your heating goes out or your AC stops working, you don't have time to wait. CM Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical, they've got award-winning technicians, and they can fix any heating or cooling breakdown, and they can do it fast. In fact, they've been doing it for over 40 years across Snohomish, King, Skagit, and Island counties. And right now, for a limited time, you get a $0 service call fee when you choose CM Heating for your heating or cooling repair. $0 service call fee. CM Heating is offering 24/7 availability. They are very fast. They've got emergency response teams, and they've got thousands of 5-star online reviews to back up the work that they do. From quick fixes to major repairs, there's no beating CM Heating. Book your next heating or cooling repair and get a $0 service call fee at cmheating.com, cmheating.com, or call 425-259-0550, 425-259-0550. Contractor license CMHEAHL 751LW, cmheating.com.
Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. For a limited time, we'll pay the sales tax. That's right, we'll discount all new orders the cost of the sales tax on the project. Call today and let one of our pros come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
You didn't work hard to watch your retirement unravel. You saved, you sacrificed, you built something meaningful for yourself and for your family. Hi, I'm elder law attorney Rajiv Nagaich. I've seen what happens when unexpected health events collide with traditional retirement plans. Savings that took decades to build drains away faster than anyone expected. At LifePoint Law, we help you build a life plan to help you protect your assets and way of life. If you are retired or thinking about retiring, now is the time to double-check your retirement plan.
Retirement doesn't have to feel like a gamble. With straightforward planning and clear answers, LifePoint Law replaces fear with clarity, but only if you start now. Attend the next seminar. This Saturday in Bothell, April 7th in Bremerton, the 9th in Olympia, or the 11th in Federal Way. Seats are limited. Sign up now at lifepointlaw.com. Visit lifepointlaw.com.
If you need security for your event or business, contact Security Services Northwest. From armed and unarmed officers to advanced remote monitoring, they've been doing it all since 1977. Go to ssnwhq.com for Security Services Northwest.
Is it time to get your home sold? Nick Southard with Upgrade Realty here. Put my luxurious marketing to work for you and save thousands in fees for only 1% listing commission. Visit upgraderealty.com. Upgraderealty.com.
SeattleRed.com.
Washington is a sanctuary state.
Local.
This was brought on by Democrats.
Conservative.
Democrats got all excited, high on their own supply.
Bold.
At least they can appreciate the president coming in with some type of help.
Finally, a website dedicated to local news in Seattle and the Pacific Northwest without the liberal spin.
This is going to be a major issue going forward.
Make it the first site you read every day. SeattleRed.com.
Victoria Taft in for Jason Rantz. Hey, the President of the United States is coming up in the next, 6 o'clock hour to talk to the American people about Iran and other things going on in his world, which I guess it's the entire world, and maybe the future of NATO. And that's why it was interesting and important to hear from Matt Whitaker, who's our representative to NATO, and find out what he was thinking about that in the last half an hour. But, I wanted to mention that Seattle is having some ramifications from the current income tax that has been implemented by the Democrats in Washington, as well as the retrenching of certain tech companies because of AI and saving money to put to their investment in AI. So I talked to Winton Hall, who just released a book, Code Red, The Left, the Right, China, and the Race to Control AI. I talked to him this week on my Adult in the Room podcast live stream. And here's what he had to say about how we have to steel ourselves for the bad news before it becomes good news in the end.
So there's this huge debate, as you know, Victoria, which is basically a couple things. One, we hear the creators of AI, let's just take a few of them, Dario Amodei at Anthropic, obviously one of the leading frontier enterprise labs, LLM, large language models. Dario Amodei says that in the next 12 months, not 12 years, 12 months, and he said this 2 months ago, we're looking at the potential wipeout of 50% of white-collar entry-level jobs between 12 months and 5 years. Now, that's our college kids, right? That's the kids who played by the rules. They worked hard in high school. They did their best. They maybe got a scholarship or took out a loan. And now they're trying to get on that first one or two rungs of the professional ladder, and you're talking about sawing or hacking that off. Now, that's what Dario says. Now, Mustafa Suleiman at Microsoft, a little company you may have heard of, one of the richest in the world, he's a Microsoft AI CEO, and he says that in 12 to 18 months, you're looking at their ability to replace and automate all white-collar tasks. Now, that doesn't mean that all jobs go away in 12 months. What he's saying is the task can be automated through agentic AI agents, text to action, where it autonomously actually does the work. And so it will take time for corporations to invest in that agentic workflow, diffuse it through their corporations. But as they start to see that possibility, you could look at a very large disruption. Now, a lot of conservatives hear that and we go, look, I've heard this since the Industrial Revolution. Okay, yeah, out with the buggy whip, in with the car, out with the handle, in with the electric light bulb. Yes, jobs will get displaced or disrupted or maybe even destroyed, but there'll be all these new jobs, nothing to worry about. The free market will work it out. The reason why they say this time is different, and the reason why Elon Musk says that we're facing a, quote, supersonic tsunami, end quote, from the X platform owner there, Elon Musk, is because that was automating the shifting and shaping of atoms, blue-collar manual work, right? The agrarian going from a mule and a plow to a tractor, going into a factory assembly line. This is scaling human cognition. And what they argue is that, yes, there will be new cognitive white-collar jobs, but those too will be able to be done by AI agents and will be able to be done faster and better. And so over this next 12 months, 5 years, 10 years, whatever you want to look, however you want to telescope how far you want to go, that's where the fault lines are. And you have to make a decision. Number one, either they're right. Number two, they're just hype masters trying to raise capital from investors. Or number three, they're politically weaponizing fear and panic to try to build support for universal basic income. And what I do in this book is really go back. Who are these people? You know, we know who Bill Gates is. We know who Mark Zuckerberg is. But do you know who Demis Hassabis is? Do you really know who Mustafa Suleiman is? Do you really know who Dario Amodei is? You probably do, but a lot of people, you know, that's a new set of characters. And so I really wanted to get people coached up.
Well, you know, and I know that Elon talks a lot about universal basic income and how, you know, we can just live without work at some point. I'm sorry, but people have to find meaning in something, and nothing is nothing in which we would like to find meaning. Because there's nothing there. But I also do worry about the dynamic, the power dynamic. Whoever controls this controls the power. I like the fact that America would control this, or at least achieve it first. But who runs it from the United States? Is it just subject to the pathologies of political parties, or what?
Yeah, so it's a really important question. You know, no AI lab in this race is going to have the ability to run free without approvals from the regulatory scheme of the federal government. Why? You don't just go build a 1 million square foot AI data center in a cornfield, you know, and just walk out and start work. These are now viewed as national security structures because of the, you know, endless rows of servers that are powering GPUs that may be integrated into our War Department, and that's why you saw that big debate with Anthropic and the War Department, and so forth. Regulatory approvals in energy and so forth. The amount of energy production and output that the AI revolution is going to take is massive. Your current Google search is 1/10 the energy required of your current ChatGPT prompt. So that the ultimate.
You know, I've never heard somebody quantify it like that before. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, keep going.
And that will come down. That will come down as efficiencies go up, but it is very real, and that's why. You know, right now the Energy Secretary under Trump has really expanded out this production on the energy capacity and saying we need to be energy dominant, and we need to get rid of the Biden green schemes and the kickbacks to the cronies and all these green energy, you know, Solyndra companies and all this nonsense that we had. That we really need to get serious. But the other thing I would say is the ultimate power of it is going to really be determined by the individual, because we have to understand that AI is not just a tool. It is power. And when you say, well, I'll just opt out, 99% of us use AI, but 64% of us don't realize when we use AI. And you say, how is that, Winton? It's because it's baked into everything from your weather app to your video movie streaming service to your GPS. So it's already part of who we are and how we function in modern life. So if we're already using it, we need to, number one, lean in and understand how to use it effectively. Number two, learn the upsides and how it can benefit us for our family, ourselves, professionally, and politically for our country. And then three is to really avoid and avert those landmines, existential and immediate.
What are the landmines?
Number one, for children right now, it is two things. One, they don't call it ChatGPT in school. They call it Cheat GPT, because it is a massive problem with plagiarism. If you talk to and interview professors and teachers, they will talk about this endlessly, that the cornerstone of pedagogy, the written essay, is under assault because people just don't even know how to detect whether or not you're looking at something that's real or not. The second thing is critical thinking skills for students. You know, there's a whole body of peer-reviewed journal literature in AI research about cognitive offloading, which is essentially students using AI as a crutch, not a supplement for education. And you know, and that's a big problem. On the other landmines, one of the biggest is bias. LLMs are overwhelmingly and demonstrably, and I go through all the endnotes. This book has 80 pages of endnotes, 800 endnotes. I'm an old school old school journalists. Let the facts sort of speak for themselves. I want to verify and corroborate. And in even academia, Victoria, says that there is a left-leaning bias in LLMs. And so you've got to read through that lens. We got to teach our kids to understand that, yes, on a calculus problem or just basic science, it may give you a straight answer. But once you get into the humanities, once you get into controversial topics or current topics, things like, Second Amendment or transgender issues or abortion, or just pick whatever hot button issue you want to choose politically, you are reading through a filtered lens. And then I think the final thing on the landmines is going to get into something you alluded to, and I'm glad you did, which is actually the last chapter of the book, deals with AI, God, faith, reason, and what I call the coming crisis of meaning.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we're really going to see, if you see anywhere near those kind of predictions on job disruptions and apocalypse, what's the first thing we say when we go with our friends or our family to a Christmas party or a social event? Hey, what do you do for a living, right? It's a part of our identity. And work, especially, we know research socially for men especially provides a lot of structure and discipline for all that testosterone and energy that can do a lot of great things. But when you take that away, when a man loses his ability to feed his wife or children, and not just men, obviously, but for all of us, that spirals into a lot of issues that relates to dependency, addiction, self-harm, violence, all the rest of the kind of corrosive effects that can happen. So we're looking at a very large disruption, and the AI architects are not neutral players. What I do in this book is go back over their political donations, their ideologies, their vast networks of influence that they work in, and really just try to tell who these people are so that people can get ready for what I call a code red moment.
What is that? What does that moment look like? Is it like?
There's
like
two
COVID?
things. I think potentially, but I don't think it'll be that performative. I think that the far better, because we already know that playbook, right? And the elites understand. We all, our eyes opened very wide during COVID. Some more than others, but I think most people now reflect back.
But our memories don't. I think there's a collective memory loss there.
Yeah.
They're going to forget about it. They forgot about 9/11 25 years after and hired the guy who's cheering them on. I mean, come on. In New York, I'm talking about.
Yes. I think that the playbook will look different. I think that, first of all, the reason I call it code red is it's a double meaning. One is an alert or an alarm. That's the obvious. But the other is that we need a code. We need a set of principles for right of center people, red team people, red political party people, worldview to really guide and navigate. So every chapter I give very actionable end of each chapter, specific things that need to be done for policy as well as personal benefit. I think the playbook, though, is going to look like this. It's going to be right now. Big tech is going to be good little boys and girls and play along with this administration. They're getting a lot of build out in what they need to build out the infrastructure for AI. They know they have to abide by that to get the regulatory approvals we talked about. And then I think what they'll do is what they always do, which is pump hundreds of millions of dollars into left-leaning candidates, hope to seize power back or sway power back. And then we will revert to that control grid, metaphorically speaking, the toggle switch back to scan and ban, censorship, blacklisting, fact-checking only conservative voices, and just and if we get a semicolon wrong, it's a debunked fact check. The left can run wild with misinformation, and then I think they will really double down on government censorship and control of that. The other thing I think, of course, is this issue about redistribution. Look, if you want a socialist reset, if you want a globalist reset, if you want the end of, or what they consider a post-labor or post-capitalist society, what do you need? You need a massive sledgehammer that can trigger massive job loss and then say, have no fear, your benevolent, betters, elite betters are here, and we're going to take care of you. And so there are people that have that vision. And so we're going to see how it plays out. Either way, we got to be ready.
Yeah. Pretty interesting guy, right? Yeah, it was very interesting. The full interview is up over at the Adult in the Room podcast live stream. Hey, subscribe. How about that? Okay, when we come back, story about Charlie Kirk and the assassin and how the gun didn't match the bullets. Well, very interesting explanation about that. And I'll talk about it with two grizzled lawmen coming up in just a minute. Back in a minute. Seattle Red.
Jason Rantz on Fox News.
Jason, I listen to Gavin Newsom, and I think everything now is some sort of deflection.
What's really odd to me, because he's obviously running for president, is he runs California. Usually, when you're the governor of any state, you're going to point to your own accomplishments. But when you have his kind of record, you can't really do all that much to point to what it is you've been able to do unless you want to sink your own campaign.
The Jason Rantz Show every afternoon from 3 to 7 on Seattle Red. Bookmark SeattleRed.com now for exclusive content.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Seattle without using your own money? You'll learn to flip houses and secure rental properties in your spare time to get on track towards real wealth building. We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Seattle for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text INVEST to 64,000. Seattle is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop next week right here in Seattle and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text INVEST to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text INVEST to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text INVEST to 64,000.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-478-6430 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-478-6430. That's 800-478-6430. What do you have to lose? Call 800-478-6430. Again, 800-478-6430.
You know the one question that guys hate to have asked of them by their wives, Nick?
I can take a good guess.
I know you know 100 of them. This is the worst one. Do these jeans make my butt look big?
Whoa.
Can't answer that one, right? What I've noticed is whenever you ask me questions like that, I just simply say, oh, I don't know. What do the doctors at Longevity Medical Clinic say?
Well, the doctors at Longevity Medical Clinic would tell me that my butt looks great in those jeans now that my hormones are balanced.
What'd they do? Did they give you something to bring your weight down?
No, just a result of having my hormones balanced caused me to lose weight. Who would have known? I had no idea that would be a result of it.
So that's good. So the answer is you look great. You're beautiful.
I feel great. I look great.
Yeah.
And I know it.
I've also noticed that your testosterone makes you a little feistier than you normally are as my beautiful Greek wife.
I might be small, but I have a loud bark.
Yes, you do. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Victoria Taft in for Jason Rantz. Seattle Red, 7:70 a.m. coming up in just a few minutes. The President of the United States will speak from the Oval Office about what's going on in Iran, give an explanation for those people who are still unclear about what we're doing there, and maybe even lob in a couple of surprises for us as well. So we'll be listening. Hope you will be too. Don't worry about a thing. You will not miss a thing. You didn't miss the launch of the big rocket today, and you're not going to miss the president if you stick around on Seattle Red. So there you have it. Okay, so were you taken in by the story about the Charlie Kirk assassination, gun and the bullet not matching? The Daily Mail issued a headline that was eye-popping, and it was basically, bullet used to kill Charlie Kirk did not match the rifle. And it's like, hold on, just a minute. We had the FBI out there. Come on, guys. How could that possibly be? So on Tuesday's live stream of the Adult in the Room podcast, I asked two grizzled lawmen about the obvious problems with that claim. And it turns out that the same Daily Mail also noted in that same story what it had mischaracterized in its own headline. And I start in my discussion with Niels Grevelius and Michael Letts coming up after my initial comment. So listen to it if you would. Here was a little nugget. This was in the Daily Mail, but they didn't decide to put this on their headline. Unable to identify the key nuance on the ballistics claim. Oh, the gun didn't match the bullet. The bullet didn't match the gun. Unable to identify in forensic ballistics typically means the bullet was too fragmented, damaged for a conclusive positive match via rifling marks. Not that experts ruled out the rifle or found an exclusion. This is common with high-velocity rounds like .30-06 fragmentation happens often. The defense is framing it as a potentially helpful to their case, but it doesn't disprove the other physical, digital, and testimonial evidence prosecutors have outlined. Oh, okay. Thanks, Daily Mail, for a little moderation there. What do you guys make of that? Niels, you haven't talked to me yet. So why don't you tell me what you're thinking?
I think it's just lawyer noise, Victoria. The prosecution hasn't made its case yet, but they've made enough of a case to hold the man over on felony charges for murder. Let's let the trial play out. This particular test is inconclusive, and what the lawyers are doing is, by raising an objection early, they can use this throughout the trial and even on appeal for appellate issues later. And if they fail to do so at this stage, it might firewall this evidence off later at the appellate stage. So they are practicing good law here is all they're doing. And it is getting amplified in the paranoid corners of the media, hard left and hard right alike. The Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, etc. crowd are making more of this than it actually is.
Yeah, I haven't watched Candace at all since that news broke and haven't really spent a lot of time watching her, but I'm sure the Jews are behind it for sure. Here are a few things that I checked on AI, but I double checked everything on the timeline. Here are some things about the items that have to do with the gun. Video the suspect on campus, they have that. They have places Tyler Robinson at or near the scene. We have a bolt-action rifle recovered near campus. Prosecutors say this was the murder weapon, or at minimum, the gun linked to the shooting. Bullet casings with the inscriptions, remember he wrote on the bullet casing, suggests the shooter handled or prepared the ammunition tied to the attack. Rooftop location evidence, the shoe print, DNA on the rifle, text messages to his lover about the gun and how he had to go back and get it, and messages and charging documents also say this. So there's lots to say. Oh, wait a minute. Now this was actually the guy. This is actually the gun. But where's the disconnect, Michael Letts?
Well, initially what you heard me talk about, and I mean, Niles probably knows what I'm referring to. Yes, 30-06 is too fragmented, but with the velocity behind a 30-06, just because they fragment doesn't mean they don't shatter bones and don't have a tremendous impact when they hit. And I didn't see any of that occurring in the body when he was hit by supposedly a 30-06.
Yeah. There was no exit wound, was there?
No.
That's a big round.
30-06 is a
hell of a deal.
30-06 has a lot of energy.
It does. It's a hell of a hit.
A steel core 30-06 bullet, and this was not steel core, will drill 4.5 inches of reinforced concrete at 500 meters and keep on cooking. It's a very serious round.
And that's what you heard me saying earlier, Victoria, why I wasn't surprised at the headline. I mean, I agree that, 30-06 could be fragmented. I agree with all of that. What I don't agree with is that a round of that velocity can not exit the body or do a lot more damage than what was done. That's where I have some concern.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to differ. I want to see what the bullet does on game, on a man, that sort of thing. If it's a soft-tipped bullet, it could expend every bit of its energy in the target without exiting. I knew that Charlie Kirk was dead the moment that I saw the hit and the fountain of blood coming out of him.
Yeah.
I knew it was a high-velocity rifle cartridge at the time that he was hit.
And I will yield to Niles in that sense. I'm anxious to see those results too. I'm just telling you, my first reaction on a high velocity hit like that was a little bit suspicious of, But then again, do we have something else that is being, not disclosed? I'm talking about another weapon or something along those lines. Nothing else has come out. But I mean, I certainly was a little suspicious initially. And I was a little suspicious. And Niles will tell you, this is the law enforcement coming out. Why would you go to all the effort of making sure the weapon that you use is easily discoverable? I mean, it's typically not the mindset of a criminal. Of course, when you get to weird assassins, they don't really have a mindset. They're kind of hard to pin down. I would conclude that point as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think he thought he was going to be able to remove that gun, and since it was a gun that could not be traced because it was a World War II era gun his grandfather owned, right. He didn't think that anybody was going to be able to track it. Isn't that true?
I think that was probably his mindset, although you might be giving a little bit more credit than what he's got. I don't know that he thought all that out. He probably just grabbed the rifle, said, "This thing works. Let's take it for a joyride."
Mm-hmm. So
the history of American assassinations is replete with highly motivated amateurs, and that's if Tyler Robinson is in fact the shooter, and everything points to it. As far as I'm concerned at this moment, he would fall into the category of highly motivated amateur. Let's see how the trial plays out. Let's see what evidence the prosecution puts on in this, and see what defense is raised.
Is going to be a nightmare. This trial is going to be chaos. It's going to last forever, and it's going to be chaos. Okay, the president is coming up in just a couple of minutes. He is going to be issuing a speech from the Oval Office about Iran and all that portends. We're sending a third aircraft carrier group to the Middle East to put a little bit more pressure. So all the pieces are in place. What kind of pressure will we put on these IRGC guys running the country? So we're talking about that. I'm sure he'll mention that as well. Also, one more thing. They're starting to charge a toll in the Hormuz Strait. Whoa. So that's coming up. It's been great spending this time with you. Thank you so much. And Jason's back tomorrow.
Insulation rebates from PSE are at historic highs. American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $3 million in PSE insulation rebates last year, more than any contractor in Washington. Homeowners, business owners, and PSE trust American Crawl Space and Pest Services. Was your home built before 1990? Visit AmericanCrawl.com to see how much you can save on replacing your insulation.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Hey, North Sound and Eastside homeowners, it's Jason Rantz. If your furnace is getting older or not keeping up, now's the perfect time to check out CM Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. Right now, when you upgrade your cooling system with CM Heating, you can get a free furnace on select systems. Yes, free. And for a limited time, you'll also get a free clean air upgrade. Plus, CM Home Comfort Advisors are tax credit and rebate experts, so they're going to help you get every incentive available. CM Heating also offers a free in-home estimate for system replacement so you can understand all your options first. And if your heating or cooling system breaks down, CM Heating's award-winning technicians can fix it fast with zero service call fees with approved repair. Whether you need a repair or a full upgrade, do not wait. Visit cmheating.com and schedule your free estimate or repair today. But hurry, the free clean air upgrade special won't last.
License CMHEAHL 751LW, CMHEAHL 754L3, CMHEAHL 750LP. No matter the season, there's always a reason to upgrade your outdoor space. Natural Design Landscaping has been serving Seattle and the East Side for nearly 30 years, designing, building, and maintaining beautiful landscapes that fit your lifestyle. From full yard transformations to weekly maintenance that keeps everything thriving. And when you mention Seattle Red, you'll get 10% off your first service. Visit naturaldesignlandscape.com to schedule your consultation. Natural Design Landscaping, let's build something wonderful together. Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Jason Rantz on Fox News.
Jason, I listen to Gavin Newsom and I think, what exactly is it do you mean? I don't get it.
He's obviously running for president. Usually, when you're the governor of any state, you're going to point to your own accomplishments. You can't really do all that much to point to what it is you've been able to do unless you want to sink your own campaign.
Jason Rantz, 3 to 7 on Seattle Red. Seattle Red on 770 KTTH Seattle, 97.3 KIRO FM, HD3 Tacoma Seattle, 94.5 K233 DT Eastlake, 33 BU Seattle.
Breaking news coverage from Fox News Radio.
This is a Fox News alert. The president's national address on Iran. I'm Gernal Scott, Fox News Radio, New York. In a matter of moments, President Donald Trump will speak to the nation to give an update on the conflict in Iran. We can expect some detail on the immediate future of this action, and we can hear this speech go a number of ways. It could be that the president doubles down on his desire for unconditional surrender and demanding that the Strait of Hormuz be reopened. The president could also say, as he's recently teased, that the conflict is nearing an end and will introduce a timeline to that effect. Or he could announce a framework of a deal that could end this war. He recently posted that negotiations were progressing, even though leaders in Iran have disputed that assessment. So we are moments away from this national address. The president will be speaking from Cross Hall in the White House as he will make his way up to the podium to give his update on how this Iran situation is expected to play out, as he has given many different assessments of exactly what he expects from this. But as we take a look at Cross Hall, we expect that the president will be making his way up to the podium in just a second. As we get ready for this address to the nation. The doors have opened. The president making his way to the podium right now. Let's go live to the President of the United States and his national address.
Thank you very much. My fellow Americans, good evening. Let me begin by congratulating the team at NASA and our brave astronauts on the successful launch.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
It will be traveling further than any manned rocket has ever flown and will very substantially pass the moon, go around it, and come back home from a distance that has never been done before. It's amazing. They are on the way, and God bless them. These are brave people. We want to God bless those 4 unbelievable astronauts. As we speak this evening, it's been just 1 month since the United States military began Operation Epic Fury, targeting the world's #1 state sponsor of terror, Iran. In these past 4 weeks, our armed forces have delivered swift, decisive, overwhelming victories on the battlefield. Victories like few people have ever seen before. Tonight, Iran's Navy is gone. Their Air Force is in ruins. Their leaders, most of them terrorist regime they led, are now dead. Their command and control of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is being decimated as we speak. Their ability to launch missiles and drones is dramatically curtailed, and their weapons, factories, and rocket launchers are being blown to pieces. Very few of them left. Never in the history of warfare has an enemy suffered such clear and devastating large-scale losses in a matter of weeks. Our enemies are losing, in America, as it has been for 5 years under my presidency, is winning, and now winning bigger than ever before. Before discussing this current situation, I also want to thank our troops for the masterful job they did in taking the country of Venezuela in a matter of minutes. That hit was quick, lethal, violent, and respected by everyone all over the world. After rebuilding our military during my first term, we have by far the strongest military anywhere in the world. And now we're working along with Venezuela and are, in a true sense, joint venture partners. We're getting along incredibly well in the production and sale of massive amounts of oil and gas, the second largest reserves on Earth after the United States of America. We're now totally independent of the Middle East, and yet we are there to help. We don't have to be there. We don't need their oil. We don't need anything they have, but we're there to help our allies. Tonight, I want to provide an update on the tremendous progress our warriors have made in Iran and discuss why Operation Epic Fury is necessary for the safety of America and the security of the free world. From the very first day I announced my campaign for president in 2015, I have vowed that I would never allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. This fanatical regime has been chanting death to America, death to Israel for 47 years. Their proxies were behind the murder of 241 Americans in the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut, the slaughter of hundreds of our service members with roadside bombs. They were involved in the attack on the USS Cole, and they carried out the countless other heinous acts, including the just horrible, bloody atrocities of October 7th in Israel, something that most people have never seen anything like it. This murderous regime also recently killed 45,000 of their own people who were protesting in Iran. 45,000 dead. For these terrorists to have nuclear weapons would be an intolerable threat. The most violent and thuggish regime on earth would be free to carry out their campaigns of terror, coercion, conquest, and mass murder from behind a nuclear shield. I will never let that happen, and neither should any of our past presidents. This situation has been going on for 47 years and should have been handled long before I arrived in office. I did many things during my 2 terms in office to stop the quest for nuclear weapons by Iran first, and perhaps most importantly, I killed General Qasem Soleimani in my first term. He was an evil genius, brilliant person, a horrible human being, however, the father of the roadside bomb. And he lived just horrible what he did. Iran would have been perhaps in far better, stronger position. Had he lived, we would have had probably a different conversation tonight. But you know what? We'd still be winning and winning big. And then, very importantly, I terminated Barack Hussein Obama's Iran nuclear deal, a disaster. Obama gave them $1.7 billion in cash, green cash. Took it out of banks from Virginia, D.C., and Maryland, all the cash they had. He flew it by airplanes in an attempt to buy their respect and loyalty, but it didn't work. They laughed at our president and went on with their mission to have a nuclear bomb. His Iran deal would have led to a colossal arsenal of massive nuclear weapons for Iran, and they would have had them years ago, and they would have used them. It would have been a different world. There would have been no Middle East and no Israel right now, in my opinion, the opinion of a lot of great experts, had I not terminated that terrible deal. And I was so honored to do it. I was so proud to do it. It was so bad right from the beginning. Essentially, I did what no other president was willing to do. They made mistakes, and I am correcting them. My first preference was always the path of diplomacy, yet the regime continued their relentless quest for nuclear weapons and rejected every attempt at an agreement. For this reason, in June, I ordered a strike on Iran's key nuclear facilities, an Operation Midnight Hammer. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Those beautiful B-2 bombers performed magnificently. We totally obliterated those nuclear sites. The regime then sought to rebuild their nuclear program at a totally different location, making clear they had no intention of abandoning their pursuit of nuclear weapons. They were also rapidly building a vast stockpile of conventional ballistic missiles and would soon have had missiles that could reach the American homeland, Europe, and virtually any other place on Earth. Iran's strategy was so obvious. They wanted to produce as many missiles as possible, and they did, with the longest range possible. And they had some weapons that nobody believed they had. We just learned that out. We took them out. We took them all out so that no one would really dare stop them. And their race for a nuclear bomb, a nuclear weapon like nobody's ever seen before. They were right at the doorstep. For years, everyone has said that Iran cannot have nuclear weapons, but in the end, those are just words if you're not willing to take action when the time comes. As I stated in my announcement of Operation Epic Fury, our objectives are very simple and clear. We are systematically dismantling the regime's ability to threaten America or project power outside of their borders. That means eliminating Iran's Navy, which is now absolutely destroyed, hurting their Air Force and their missile program at levels never seen before, and annihilating their defense industrial base. We've done all of it. Their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone. Their missiles are just about used up or beaten. Taken together, these actions will cripple Iran military, crush their ability to support terrorist proxies, and deny them the ability to build a nuclear bomb. Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it, and tonight I'm pleased to say that these core strategic objectives are nearing completion. As we celebrate this progress, we think especially of the 13 American warriors who have laid down their lives in this fight to prevent our children from ever having to face a nuclear Iran. Twice this past month, I've traveled to Dover Air Force Base, and it's been something. I wanted to be with those heroes as they return to American soil, and I was with them and their families, their parents, their wives, their husbands. We salute them, and now we must honor them by completing the mission for which they gave their lives. And every single one of the people, their loved ones said, "Please, sir, please finish the job." Every one of them. And we are going to finish the job, and we're going to finish it very fast. We're getting very close. I want to thank our allies in the Middle East, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, Kuwait, and Bahrain. They've been great, and we will not let them get hurt or fail in any way, shape, or form. Many Americans have been concerned to see the recent rise in gasoline prices here at home. This short-term increase has been entirely the result of the Iranian regime launching deranged terror attacks against commercial oil tankers in neighboring countries that have nothing to do with the conflict. This is yet more proof that Iran can never be trusted with nuclear weapons. They will use them, and they will use them quickly. It would lead to decades of extortion, economic pain, and instability worse than we can ever imagine. The United States has never been better prepared economically to confront this threat. You all know that. We built the strongest economy in history. We're going through it right now, the strongest in history. In 1 year, we've taken a dead and crippled country. I hate to say that, but we were a dead and crippled country after the last administration and made it the hottest country anywhere in the world by far, with no inflation, record-setting investments coming into the United States, over $18 trillion, and the highest stock market ever, with 53 all-time record highs in just 1 year. It all positioned us to get rid of a cancer that has long simmered. It's known as the nuclear Iran, and they didn't know what was coming. They've never imagined it. Remember, because of our Drill Baby Drill program, America has plenty of gas. We have so much gas. Under my leadership, we are #1 producer of oil and gas on the planet, without even discussing the millions of barrels that we're getting from Venezuela. Because of the Trump administration's policies, we produce more oil and gas than Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. Think of that, Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. And that number will soon be substantially higher than that. There's no country like us anywhere in the world, and we're in great shape for the future. The United States imports almost no oil through the Hormuz Strait and won't be taking any in the future. We don't need it. We haven't needed it, and we don't need it. We've beaten and completely decimated Iran. They are decimated, both militarily and economically and in every other way. And the countries of the world that do receive oil through the Hormuz Strait must take care of that passage. They must cherish it. They must grab it and cherish it. They can do it easily. We will be helpful, but they should take the lead in protecting the oil that they so desperately depend on. So to those countries that can't get fuel, many of which refuse to get involved in the decapitation of Iran, we had to do it ourselves. I have a suggestion. #1, buy oil from the United States of America. We have plenty. We have so much. And #2, build up some delayed courage. Should have done it before. Should have done it with us, as we asked. Go to the Strait and just take it, protect it, use it for yourselves. Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done, so it should be easy. And in any event, when this conflict is over, the Strait will open up naturally. It'll just open up naturally. They're going to want to be able to sell oil because that's all they have to try and rebuild. It will resume the flowing, and the gas prices will rapidly come back down. Stock prices will rapidly go back up. They haven't come down very much, frankly. They came down a little bit, but they've had some very good days over the last couple of days. We've done actually much better than I thought, but we had to take that little journey to Iran to get rid of this horrible threat. With our historic tax cuts, where people are just now talking about receiving larger refunds than they ever thought possible, they are getting so much more money than they thought. That's from the great big beautiful bill. Our economy is strong and improving by the day, and it will soon be roaring back like never before. It will top the levels that it was a month ago. I've made clear from the beginning of Operation Epic Fury that we will continue until our objectives are fully achieved. Thanks to the progress we've made, I can say tonight that we are on track to complete all of America's military objectives shortly, very shortly. We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong. In the meantime, discussions are ongoing. Regime change was not our goal. We never said regime change, but regime change has occurred because of all of their original leaders' death. They're all dead. The new group is less radical and much more reasonable. Yet if during this period of time no deal is made, we have our eyes on key targets. If there is no deal, we are going to hit each and every one of their electric generating plants very hard and probably simultaneously. We have not hit their oil, even though that's the easiest target of all, because it would not give them even a small chance of survival or rebuilding. But we could hit it, and it would be gone, and there's not a thing they could do about it. They have no anti-aircraft equipment. Their radar is 100% annihilated. We are unstoppable as a military force. The nuclear sites that we obliterated with the B-2 bombers have been hit so hard that it would take months to get near the nuclear dust, and we have it under intense satellite surveillance and control. If we see them make a move, even a move for it, we'll hit them with missiles very hard again. We have all the cards, they have none. It's very important that we keep this conflict in perspective. American involvement in World War I lasted 1 year, 7 months, and 5 days. World War II lasted for 3 years, 8 months, and 25 days. The Korean War lasted for 3 years, 1 month, and 2 days. The Vietnam War lasted for 19 years, 5 months, and 29 days. Iraq went on for 8 years, 8 months, and 28 days. We are in this military operation, so powerful, so brilliant, against one of the most powerful countries for 32 days. And the country has been eviscerated and essentially is really no longer a threat. They were the bully of the Middle East, but they're the bully no longer. This is a true investment in your children and your grandchildren's future. The whole world is watching, and they can't leave the power, strength, and brilliance. They just can't believe what they're seeing. They leave it to your imagination, but they can't believe what they're seeing, the brilliance of the United States military. Tonight, every American can look forward to a day when we are finally free from the wickedness of Iranian aggression and the specter of nuclear blackmail. Because of the actions we have taken, we are on the cusp of ending Iran's sinister threat to America and the world. And I'll tell you, the world is watching. And when we do, when it's all over, the United States will be safer, stronger, more prosperous, and greater than it has ever been before. May God bless the men and women of the United States Armed Forces, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much, and good night.
And we have just heard from the President of the United States, Donald Trump, as he gave his assessment of the war in Iran and where it's heading from here. What we heard the president say is that because of the U.S. and Israeli joint action, Iran's navy is gone. Their leaders are dead. He congratulated the military not only for this, but for the actions earlier in Venezuela that resulted in the arrest of that country's president, Nicolas Maduro. But as far as Operation Midnight Hammer last June and Operation Epic Fury right now, he says it is achieving its objectives, and he says it will continue. And he expressed the desire to perhaps do more strikes over the next 3 weeks. That was the time frame that he gave, and he said in honoring the 13 military members who lost their lives in this conflict, he said their families are urging him to continue until the job is completed. I'm Gernal Scott. This is Fox News Radio. I want to bring in Fox News Radio's White House correspondent Jared Halpern to talk about what we just heard the president say. And Jared, we did get somewhat of a time frame for what the president is thinking. At the end, he said this will be wrapping up shortly, but he did mention a 3-week period where bombings could continue. And it's kind of what we expected from the president as far as continuing this offensive.
You know, to be honest, Gernal, the president did not lay out anything new from a timetable that has not already been said. From the outset, the Pentagon has indicated that they believe that this could be accomplished in 4 to 6 weeks. The president has reiterated that timeline, has said that he thinks they are actually ahead of schedule. And in a lengthy back and forth with reporters just yesterday, President Trump again said that he believes that this will be wrapped up in probably about 2 weeks, which would put us right at that kind of 6-week window. He has said in other interviews and conversations he's had with reporters that it's possible that there could be some additional kind of one-off strikes. He mentioned that a little bit in his remarks this evening, saying that the nuclear dust, as he put it, the nuclear material that Iran possessed is deep underground. It would take months to get to, and it is under constant surveillance, and the United States could respond if needed to. The president reiterated threats that he has previously issued to Iran, both in word and on social media, including this threat to target electric generating plants. Oil targets so far, those have not been on the list that the United States has taken out thus far. In a social media post this week, the president also suggested perhaps taking out desalinization plants. Again, this kind of maximalist approach as he tries to get Iran to make concessions or at least de-escalate to reach some sort of agreement to let up these American airstrikes. The other thing I was listening for is how President Trump was going to talk about the Strait of Hormuz. And again, here, much of what President Trump has said previously, that this is not operationally something that has to be accomplished. He is calling on European countries that rely on that strait more than the United States to go take the oil. He says that they can buy oil from the U.S. or they can build up what he calls delayed courage since the hard part is done. Now, the president did stop short of what we thought might be spoken about. There had been sources inside the White House that indicated President Trump may take a pretty hard stance here against NATO. NATO countries have not joined this operation in the way that President Trump has asked them to. He has suggested, again, both in interviews and on social media, that the United States could rethink NATO. We have heard that from the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, as well. That threat, that consideration by the president was not expressed in this address tonight. I know we are with our international correspondent, Jonathan Savage, who has been reporting on that element. And it is notable that
well, we may have lost Jared there for just a second, but he did mention Fox News' international correspondent, Jonathan Savage. Jonathan, to what Jared was saying, NATO is watching this, as is much of the world. What did you hear in this address from the president that caught your ear?
Yes, surprisingly little regarding NATO and the international element. As you say, NATO members, Middle East countries were watching on with concern. Was Operation Epic Fury about to wrap up or ramp up? And did the last month cause permanent damage to those enduring transatlantic alliances? It was just a few hours ago that President Trump spoke to at least 2 news outlets and said that he was strongly considering taking the United States out of the NATO transatlantic alliance. In no small part because of his anger at what he saw as these countries not stepping up to help the United States when he asked them to as part of Operation Epic Fury. And that prospect of the United States leaving NATO would have sent chills down the spines of European leaders. At least one of them, the Finnish president, Alexander Stubb, did speak to President Trump today, where he told President Trump that a more European NATO was taking shape. Perhaps he has talked President Trump down a little from that more extreme possibility. Perhaps that's why we didn't hear anything about it in the speech. What we did hear in the speech was a repeat of what President Trump had said in his Truth Social posts. He said to those countries that can't get fuel from the Strait of Hormuz and refuse to get involved, he gave them two options: buy from the United States and go to the Strait of Hormuz and take it yourself. It should be easy. Almost word for word what he posted on social media.
Fox's Jonathan Savage with us. Jonathan, as far as you're in London, you have heard what politicians there have said about this conflict. Do we expect a shift or anything in how they are approaching this? Are they still trying to remain somewhat hands-off here?
They very much are remaining hands-off. We've seen this consistent position over the last 4 weeks from almost all European countries who have been saying that they do not want to get involved. They are saying that it is not their war, they were not consulted, and they don't want to be party to it. They have expressed concerns about the strategy, the enduring strategy of this, the wisdom of this. They've expressed concerns about the legality of this. And for those reasons, we've seen not just public criticism, which is rare from European leaders towards President Trump for most of them, but also European countries refuse to allow the overfly, or the use of their airspace for American military flights towards the Middle East, and the refusal for the American military to use their joint military bases for Operation Epic Fury, which was very, very significant. And that's probably why President Trump was so furious.
Once again, we have a quick moment to talk with Jared Halpern. What do we expect from a reaction from lawmakers in the U.S.?
Well, so far, Congress has gotten updates from the Pentagon fairly regularly, but there has not been any vote, at least a successful vote, on reining in this military operation. There have been suggestions, mostly from Democrats, but a couple of Republicans too, that President Trump ought to have asked for congressional approval. So far, that has not picked up a lot of momentum. I think the longer that this conflict goes on, that could change. But again, Congress out now for the next couple of weeks. And if this operation is done before Congress gets back from its recess, we're probably talking about a moot point at that point, Gernal.
Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern and Fox News Radio's Jonathan Savage joining us for our coverage of the president's address to the nation. He gave very little indication of new things that are happening in Iran, but we will keep an eye on what changes and what doesn't as it relates to this conflict. For Jonathan Savage and Jared Halpern, I'm Gernal Scott in New York. This is Fox News Radio.
Good afternoon, Seattle Red. Victoria Taft on the Jason Rantz Show right here on Seattle Red. And we're waiting for the takeoff, the launch of the Artemis II's 4-astronaut crew from Cape Canaveral. And so that's what's going on. And it's going to be there for 10 days. Can we just sort of like find out where we are in the launch sequence at this point? We're like 5 minutes away, I think.
Helium purge of the 4 core stage engines downstream of the propellant valve.
Kind of exciting.
This gets all the air and moisture out of there.
It's kind of exciting because this is the first time we're people back in space going to the moon, or going around it anyway.
Moving through the milestones. All is looking good. Coming up in just a few seconds, we're going to get that thrust vector control actuator test. This is a gimbaling of the engines.
So 3 minutes and 23 seconds to launch. Even the White House got into it today.
There are the 4 RS-25s.
We'll sort of keep
3 of
this
them
on a low pro.
Shuttle Heritage.
And then
one
they
of them
made a beauty video, as the Trump always does these kind of sort of a hype video. Here we go.
It is America's destiny to be at the forefront of humanity's eternal quest for knowledge and to be the leader amongst nations on our adventure into the great unknown. The human soul yearns for discovery. By unlocking the mysteries of the universe, we unlock truths within ourselves. We're a nation of pioneers, and the next great American frontier is space. And we never completed, but now we start again.
Is this a Madonna song that they did this on?
I believe so, yeah.
What song? Why am I not coming up with the song?
Is it Like a Prayer?
Like a Prayer, yeah. Isn't it?
I think so.
Like a Prayer, yeah. Something like that. Anyway, 10 days are going to be checking to make sure everything doesn't blow up, and God help us if it does. Going to the moon, which is what I think President Trump announced that we were going to go back to the moon during Trump 45. So, there is that. And this is the current launch sequence underway. We'll listen in a little bit.
Because there's no more margin on these batteries. So we'd have to recycle back to T-minus 10 to recharge if we had a hold.
Oh. But they're not doing that.
1 minute.
Right now, the rocket does not know what the T0 is, but coming up at T-minus 33 seconds, control shifts from the ground launch sequencer to the rocket's onboard autonomous launch sequencer, or ALS. The rocket will count itself down, but honor any holds that could come from the ground. Now, shortly after liftoff, Houston will take control of the rocket, and my colleague Gary Jordan will take over commentary.
GLS, go for ALS.
Great call out. The rocket is on its own. 4 brave explorers ready to ride the most powerful rocket NASA has ever launched. Sound suppression water is flowing.
15.
And here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7. RS-25 engines lit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis 2 now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
Good roll pitch.
I'm laughing because we haven't seen it.
Roll pitch.
Houston now controlling the flight of Integrity on the Artemis 2 mission around the moon.
Integrity, AMT high. AMT high.
On time, passing 30 seconds into the flights. Integrity passes the alternate beacon. Target milestone. Mission Control Houston seeing good performance on the 4 main engines. Space Launch System core stage. Integrity, 3 miles in altitude. Traveling more than 1,200 miles per hour.
Okay. Pretty amazing.
Mission elapsed time, passing 1 minute, approaching max Q.
On, Ponce de Leon. Stan, we have you loud and clear on Ponce de Leon. Have you the same.
Communication signal transfer confirmed as Integrity and its crew go supersonic. Approaching 90 seconds into the Artemis 2 mission. Integrity is 14 miles in altitude, 8 miles downrange, traveling more than 2,600 miles per hour.
Pretty nifty. Some of us remember the Challenger incident when they go and they lost telemetry at a certain point. So you always want to kind of
1 minute 50 seconds of mission elapsed time, standing by for main engine throttle down to 85%, ahead of solid rocket booster separation, expected at the 2 minute 9 second mark. We see throttle down. Confirmed separation. Main engines throttling up, guidance converged.
Integrity, guidance converged, performance nominal, upper stage RCS ready. Copy all, Stan.
So they went.
Integrity, SM priming complete. SM priming complete.
2 minutes, 45 seconds of mission elapsed time into the Artemis II mission. Thrusters on integrity and upper stage confirmed in a ready state ahead of service module fairing separation.
This is NASA's first time
3 minutes
back
into the flight. Integrity 49 miles in altitude, 78 miles downrange. Now
SpaceX
passing 5,000 miles per hour.
Manned flight, 10 days. Trying to figure out how they're going to put a village on the moon.
Standing by for launch abort system jettison.
Using the water, frozen water.
Houston integrity, good last jettison, great view. Copy jettison, Team Eco 8+02. We see the same on board, Stan. And Houston has you loud and clear on Tidris at the Carmen line. Outstanding, Stan. We have you the same.
3 minutes, 50 seconds into the flight of Artemis II. Wiseman, Glover, Cook, and Hansen crossed the boundary to space with good comm checks. GPS signals acquired after last jettison now working on internal checks to verify accuracy.
Pretty cool.
Flight dynamics officer analyzed the time of main engine cutoff, confirmed at 8 minutes, 2 seconds, time of MECO.
All right, so Cape Canaveral is the place to be again. And so the Artemis II mission takes off for 10 days in going around the moon, trying to, I guess, taking pretty pictures, trying to figure out if they can operate properly the equipment that they have in this particular vehicle, and then making sense out of it all so that next time they can go to the moon again and be on the moon and try to figure out if they can put that, if you will, village on the moon using a lot of the things that are right there, on the moon. Water, frozen water, get air from there, or oxygen from there, all kinds of things. So I'm no expert. It sounds really cool. And I'm very happy that we took as much of it as we did. If anything new happens, we will obviously come back and let you know what's going on. Very nice, though. Let's see. I'm going to make sure I say everything I need to say about what they're doing. I like the safety, biological radiation research, manual piloting, and it's not entirely autonomous, so there will be manual piloting. So good. Excellent. Man's going back to the moon. Neato torpedo. Thank you, President Trump, for doing that. I know people are like, I can't believe you said that, Victoria. Yeah, you can. He did. That's what he did. Yeah. Okay. Golly. So what else do we have going on this afternoon? What in a couple of different things. The sugar that I had on the way to work today, it's kicking in. So how are you doing on the sugar thing, Jackson?
I'm pretty good about I don't have like a huge sweet tooth, so my fiance is horrible. But
yeah, she'll get over it.
She's hooked.
She'll get over it soon. She will.
I don't know if she will.
I have been so off the overt sugars that I of course I do drink wine and I do like beer, but that's it. And then today I had candy because guess who went to look for the Easter candy for some very important visitors that I have. That would be me. And I went there and I thought, I'll keep it in the car. Well, that was a bad idea. Very bad idea. How are we doing on time? We good? Do I have time to tell everybody about the layoffs that we've just heard about? And
you do, yeah.
Yes, I do. Excellent. Well, we're not happy about it. Don't get me wrong. But the thing is that the two major companies in Seattle have decided that they are going to slough some jobs in Seattle and some in Redmond too. So what we have Oracle announcing that it is laying off some, I don't know, what is it? Meta and Oracle laying off a couple, literally hundreds of people because, a couple of reasons. One of the reasons is Meta's laying off 168. Oracle's laying off a fewer number, but they're all laying off. And part of the reason is as you would, because Seattle, Washington, and the millionaire's income tax deal is that they do want to reduce their footprint in the city of Seattle, because somewhere along the line there became a disconnect between the free market system that we call capitalism, and the commies don't like that. And so there's more folks like that in Seattle these days, and operating Seattle. In fact, the top commie is the mayor. So in the city of Seattle. And so people are getting the heck out. So that is an important thing you must keep in mind. Then, so Meta lays off and Oracle lays off. And the reason they also want to do that is because they are now they need money. Not because they need money to expand AI and to begin, if they already haven't done so, which I'm sure they have, gear up, lots of money, and staff up for that. So Meta laid off 168 folks in the Seattle area. Yeah. And so they wanted to make sure that they can put that money into focusing on AI and artificial intelligence. It's where it's happening, and we're already using it. In fact, I got a really interesting interview in the 5 o'clock hour with a guy who has just written a book called Code Red. And it's about AI, and it doesn't mean necessarily that everything is terrible, we're all going to die. He's not coming at it from that angle. He's talking about some of the reasons why we're doing it. He talks about some of the answers we'll find if we use AI, and how we need to ride herd on the moral code, hence the name Code Red. And he wants everyone to recognize what they're looking at when we are looking at AI and using AI, which we are every single day. So, I mean, I always have to fact check my AI. Do you have to fact check your AI?
I like to, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think it's important. It's wrong a lot. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Jackson, thanks. Okay, here we go. Got to take another break. Paying the bills. It's Victoria Taft in for Jason Rantz. Seattle Red, 770 AM.
Hey, Seattle, it's Dana Lash.
Hey, Seattle, it's Guy Benson. It is an honor to be part of the next chapter as we continue to build our movement in Seattle.
I love Seattle Red because it's such a bold step, creating an even bigger voice.
Seattle Red is exactly what we need right now. Join us at Seattle Red on 770.
SeattleRed.com.
And the Seattle Red app.
Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. For a limited time, we'll pay the sales tax. That's right, we'll discount all new orders the cost of the sales tax on the project. Call today and let one of our pros come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Mitch here at Leathers, Washington's most eclectic home furnishings resource. There's too much stress in America today. I cannot solve this national affliction, and I cannot run for president as I'm only 74. What I can do is offer you stress-free chairs at our lowest prices of the season. Fjord's factory-authorized sale is going on now. Save hundreds to thousands of dollars on these tailored stress relievers in gorgeous colors that swivel, glide, recline, or even lift. So lessen your stress. Treat yourself to a Fjord's recliner at Leathers Fjord sale in Issaquah now.
Jason Rantz here with Phil Mitchell. He's the owner of Sunset Auto Family. Phil, you have a new program that once again proves you just get more at Sunset. Tell me about Sunset's Repairs for Life.
Well, Repairs for Life, we have warranty for life on vehicles that we sell, but we wanted to give the customer something that didn't buy from us. If they come in and they do a repair with us, we're going to warranty it for life.
So let's say I bring in my car for a transmission repair. Something happens, 5 years later. You're going to cover that?
If you paid for the repair, we're going to cover it.
What about brakes and batteries?
It'll cover brakes and batteries.
Really?
Yes, it will.
So what's an argument against buying with you guys?
I really don't know. I'll just try to take all the fear out of it.
So you pretty much at this point do everything for life. You've got warranty protection for life, repairs for life, oil changes for life.
We want to be your lifetime dealer.
You can rest easy knowing that if Sunset takes care of your repairs and they fail, Sunset will cover the cost 100% for life. You just get more at Sunset. And people do like that.
Repairs for Life excludes regular maintenance, oil changes, manufacturer recommended interval maintenance, warranty repair, extended warranty repairs, and any repair under $250. See dealer agreement for complete details.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-478-6430 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-478-6430. That's 800-478-6430. What do you have to lose? Call 800-478-6430. Again, 800-478-6430.
Good afternoon, Victoria Taft in for Jason Rantz, Seattle Red, AM 770 AM. Either way, it's the best place to get your news and information for a fantastic afternoon. Hey, we've got a couple other things to tell you about this afternoon besides the Artemis Air big spaceship going up there and going to be around the moon, doing that for 10 days, getting ready for landing on the moon at some point in a future endeavor. But we've got some also more closely to the Earth stories about riding in airplanes. And I don't know, have you heard about the exploding Stumptown coffee?
I have, yeah.
I mean, honestly, I do worry about this. I mean, how is it that you wanted to vie for the contract? You put in your RFP, I want this gig, and your Stumptown, and you didn't figure out that at a certain elevation, your coffee machine isn't going to work and it explodes coffee?
This sounds like a Seinfeld episode to me, kind of.
The Portland-based Stumptown Coffee, history of exploding at high altitudes and burn an Alaska Airlines flight attendant in 2024. And then others reported the same problem. This lawsuit, filed on behalf of yet another Victoria Waldron, alleges that she was badly burned on an Alaska flight when an onboard coffee maker catastrophically failed in the galley of the plane because it reached altitude. And all of a sudden, pow! She was pregnant at the time and said that the coffee burned her chest and several areas of her body. She said that she has permanent scarring. Yikes. Emotional distress. Yeah, that would freak me out. And may need further surgery to address the issue. And hers is not the only incident. It has happened, as I mentioned, multiple times. And it seems to me, like what happened was the Stumptown guys are going, well, we didn't realize that it would explode. We didn't know that at altitude it explodes. The lawsuit does not seek a specific amount, but I imagine that there might be others jumping on. And I'm sure Stumptown's going, I wish we had never vied for that contract. I mean, I wish we hadn't. It's worth it. And my favorite story of the day, however, is another flight story. This one's out of the Miami airport. Now, the Miami airport, they're very serious at this airport, and they're about the second. Have you ever take a second bag as a carry-on on the plane?
Well, everyone knows not to do that, right?
No. Everybody does it. I mean, okay, everybody's doing it. You can have for the first time in months and months and months, I actually carried on all my luggage. And I only had two pieces. I had my personal piece and I had my bag. Well, these women who are accused of refusing to leave an aircraft had their personal luggage and they had two pieces of luggage. And then they refused to pay for the extra carry-on bags at the Miami International Airport on Sunday. And, you'd think, well, what could possibly happen? Well, a lot could happen. Allow me to give you and elucidate the details. The three women were on a Frontier flight. Well, they were attempting to board it. And then they got on it. They just burst onto the plane because they go, well, we're not paying for the extra bags. And it was just not good. And so they did get in a confrontation with the person at the gate. And those people are always really nice. Hi, Victoria. Welcome. You put your phone there with your little magic ticket, your golden ticket.
Boarding pass.
Boarding pass. Yeah, thank you. I was groping. Could you tell? Boarding pass? I only have 5,000 of them in my Apple wallet. Do you keep the old ones? I keep the old ones. It's sad.
I get rid of them.
Yeah, I don't. I just keep them until I get sick of them. But I'd like to find out what I've been doing for the last year of my life or so. Oh, I remember going on that trip. We travel fairly frequently. So anyway, all along the West Coast most of the time. So anyway, they were trying to aboard the Frontier flight from Miami to Philadelphia when they had the confrontation at the gate with an airline employee. And she said, hey, dude, you got to pay for the extra bag. And according to, this gets better, an arrest report, the women had been asked to step out of line to pay for the bag. When they declined, the employee said that they would be removed from the flight. And so what happened was they said, oh, no, we're just getting on the plane. We don't have to listen. Let's just go. And so they thought, well, they're never going to hold the fight. They're never going to do that. Well, it turns out that they did. Indeed. They refused to take off. They bolted the gate. They went past the door that had been marked restricted, got on the plane, and then guess what? They got hauled off. They resisted arrest. And all sorts of multiple warnings came as a result. And sadly, for these women, they were arrested. I really got to see the video of this. That must have been quite the show. Enjoy prison, baby, one onlooker could be heard saying on said video. Wow. I guess it pays to pay for your extra bags. All right, we've got more coming up after the top of the hour news. Latest on Artemis. Everything's still going fine. And much, much more as we continue. Victoria Taft in for Jason Rantz, Seattle Red, 770 AM.
As a social influencer, my days can be busy. 4 a.m., I hit the gym. 4:32, protein smoothie. 5:08, save time and money bundling my home and auto insurance with Progressive. Wait, if I bundle and save time, what would I do then? Just sit here and reflect? Like, why am I qualified to influence anyone? And how those weights are hollow? And half of my followers are bots.
You could save time and money bundling your home and auto when you switch to Progressive. It's one less thing to worry about during your already busy day. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Remember that time we were driving through France and for some reason we didn't have GPS?
Oh, for some reason? That reason would be that you didn't plug your phone in because you didn't have a charger.
Yeah, because I let you borrow my phone so you could call your mother, and you're on the phone for like 30 minutes telling her where we are. But that aside, we didn't know where we were going. We did fight a little bit because we didn't know where we were going. I think that Longevity Medical Clinic is like the GPS for us. They tell us which turns to make. They tell us which directions to go, right?
They do. And now I feel like the two of us together have a clear path and we have more control over our own health care.
Right, exactly. So you don't have to get out of the car and try to find information somewhere. It's all right there. As you're aging, all the little sort of turns you have to make in order to be able to have lots of energy and to enjoy your life. So for as far as I'm concerned, Longevity Medical Clinic is our GPS. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
You didn't work hard to watch your retirement unravel. You saved, you sacrificed, you built something meaningful for yourself and for your family. Hi, I'm elder law attorney Rajiv Nagaich. I've seen what happens when unexpected health events collide with traditional retirement plans. Savings that took decades to build drains away faster than anyone expected. At LifePoint Law, we help you build a life plan to help you protect your assets and way of life. If you are retired or thinking about retiring, now is the time to double-check your retirement plan.
Retirement doesn't have to feel like a gamble. With straightforward planning and clear answers, LifePoint Law replaces fear with clarity, but only if you start now. Attend the next seminar this Saturday in Bothell, April 7th in Bremerton, the 9th in Olympia, or the 11th in Federal Way. Seats are limited. Sign up now at lifepointlaw.com. Visit lifepointlaw.com.
Jason Rantz on Fox News.
Jason, I listen to Gavin Newsom, and I think everything now is some sort of deflection.
What's really odd to me, because he's obviously running for president, is he runs California. Usually, when you're the governor of any state, you're going to point to your own accomplishments. But when you have his kind of record, you can't really do all that much to point to what it is you've been able to do unless you want to sink your own campaign.
The Jason Rantz Show every afternoon from 3 to 7 on Seattle Red. Bookmark SeattleRed.com now for exclusive content.
Call or click 811 before you dig. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811. Call or click 811 and visit safeexcavator.com.
File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. TurboTax helps you get your biggest refund, and then Credit Karma helps you do more with it. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn